Hey, this is Chase Daxton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
Welcome back to the Vital MX MotoXpod show. Last week, show 300 was an absolute blast, and I want to thank everybody who reached out to compliment us on the Eli interview. Honestly, I think that was one of the most fun times I've had, one of the most fun interviews I've had. So really, really appreciate that. We've got another big show tonight, and coming up on the Race Tech Yamaha Motor USA Vital MX MotoXpod show, we have Star Racing Yamaha's rookie Daxton Bennick coming off a podium in his first professional Supercross ever in Detroit. Then we have another star Yamaha rider with the Futures guy, Gavin Towers. GT15 is going to join us. We're going to talk about his second place at A2, what it's been like training with all the boys at Star, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to jump on for a little bit. And then we have Josh Strang, one of the vets of the GNCC series. He's going to be doing his own team this year with some Sherco support. So, yeah, Josh is going to jump on. We've never talked to him, talk about the upcoming GNCC season that starts next weekend, the weekend after Glendale. I'll be there racing also, apparently. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But, yeah, so we also got all our segments that we normally do. We'll get into all those things. First up, in studio, once again, full house, Scotty Thompson, working the cameras, YouTube chat. What's up?
What's going on? Just
not much.
Back at it again. Just glad another day, another show.
Another Wednesday, another show. Speaking of that, well, let's introduce TJ's back in studio since he still doesn't have a job.
Since I don't have a job.
He's a loser and just doesn't work. He's just living off the government.
I am not getting government funds.
I know. What's up, TJ?
Yeah. I just want to make sure everybody knows because I don't want people to think that I'm all like mooching.
Mooching off the government.
Well, I am mooching. I do need free gear, but you won't give me any.
Well, you should have entered the contest because we did get a winner.
But you said I'm not
eligible. You're not. Yeah, you're not eligible, but you should have entered anyway. It's Wednesday night. It's the night we normally do our shows.
Not anymore.
We are going to go back to Tuesday nights in 2 weeks. Next week, no show. I'll be in South Carolina at the Yamaha Off-Road Intro, so be a little tied up.
We should break in and just do a show.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could. But the following week, the show will be on Tuesdays. We're going to go back to Tuesday night shows. I hope that doesn't mess anybody else's schedule up, but Tuesdays work a little bit better for some things that we're going to try to do. I think there's going to be some opportunities where we'll cut some more of the highlights out and use those on Vital's socials and stuff, and it gives a little more time for that. It's a little easier maybe to get guests when they're not traveling, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, Tuesday night show's coming up. Questions, comments, thoughts, you want to get involved in any of the segments, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Yeah, man. So Detroit has come and gone. We're going to get into that. But first, obviously, we're going to get into the Race Tech Open discussion. And Race Tech, if you're building a reliable world-class engine that requires a combination of state-of-the-art equipment and experienced, knowledgeable technicians are what Race Tech offers. Race Tech provides quality precision engine services using the best equipment and processes in the industry. They've been developing the best combination of porting, cam timing, mapping, and related components to build world-class engines in a painstaking process. Race Tech has spent an impressive number of hours doing R&D on the flow bench, dyno, CNC, and at the track to create the Race Tech Power Plan. If you follow the RT Power Plan and assemble the engine correctly, you can build an engine capable of competing with anything in the world. I don't know about anything. I mean, you think it could compete with a drag car?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Race Tech. If you want to compete
it's
with
Race Tech.
Race Tech will build you a fire-breathing quarter-mile dirt bike. Probably could.
Probably could.
Probably could. So last week we had a couple giveaways for Show 300. We did a YouTube chat casual giveaway. Our casual winner was Joe Blow 2365. I sent him an email. If he's listening tonight, Scotty, or he's in there, I need him to respond. I need what he wants. He needs to go look at the hats and the shirts and pick out and send me an email. I told him that. I didn't get a response. So I believe, isn't it Joe Blow 2365? If you're on here, I need you to reach out. to us on their email so I can get your contact info.
He did email, he said.
He sent an email, but then I told him what I needed. Like I
never heard back.
And I haven't heard back.
Okay.
So I need to know what hat he wants, what shirt, SKU number, all that, so I can get it all taken care of. SKU. We also had a contest for everybody to win a set of FXR gear, and our winner was Bruce Clayseth. I hope I'm saying that right. Mm-hmm. I have reached out to him. His gear is already on the way, so congrats to Bruce, and thank you to everybody that reached out and answered the question about Cody Webb's first Endurocross Championship 2015, I believe.
We just a random thing. We have Feta707 says he's watching from Bermuda.
Jamaica.
Come
on, pretty mama. Is that right?
You were close.
Cool.
All right, moving on.
All right, cool, man. I'm glad you're listening wherever you are in the world.
Heck yeah.
Appreciate you guys listening. Also want to give a shout out. I did not do this last week. It was in my notes, but when I was out in California for the full month, going to all those races in SoCal, there was some listeners there from Al and Tracy Petty. Mm-hmm. They came out. They were really cool. Their whole family was there. They snuck into the pits like at every round somehow, or like in the morning. No problem. Never got caught. It was pretty cool.
Until now, way to expose them.
Well, they're back. They went home, but they're in Australia. They did also buy some dark shirts from me on site.
Yeah. This is not for your
No, I'm just telling you that they came. They were some of the first overseas people to buy shirts.
Okay.
They were the first, and I want to tell them thank you. And they were really, really cool to meet.
Did Feld get their cut or?
They paid while we were off site. I just happened to hand them to them on site.
That seems like them sneaking into the pits.
So
kind of along the same.
What's the normal Feld percentage for selling merchandise?
I don't know.
If it's 20%,
I did not sell it at the stadium.
They don't allow you to sell. Period. So technically, I mean,
it's like if somebody bought a shirt right now, but they're going to be in Glendale, I could take it to them. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. You're right.
So that's basically what happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
I also want to give a shout out and a reminder. There is a Vital MX fantasy league, and fantasy game. Within that game, there is a MotoXpod show league, and we're doing the winner each week gets a prize.
Heck yeah.
So let's see here. Knoxville 747 was this week's winner. I think he's getting X-Brand goggles, if I'm not mistaken. Those actually went out today. So get involved in that. Play. It's a lot of fun. And then I just talked about the show changing days. It's also a little bit different format tonight. We're not going to go opening segment, guest, closing segments. We're going to have a little bit of break in between guests.
I don't think
we're going to do
cares.
some segments. No, I'm just kind of letting everybody know. Get some updates.
All right.
You want to get into some topics then?
Let's do that.
Oh, we probably should talk about our guests tonight. I did.
Yep.
You did.
Okay, I already did that. All right, cool. Whew, I'm off.
Hey.
You know what? My mind is so focused on getting to Glendale because I haven't been to a race in a couple weeks.
The race is why you're wanting to go.
Yeah. Why else would I be wanting to go?
I mean,
has nothing to do with his dog.
There's no dog dip we're talking about. And
because Tool's playing Friday night.
And Tool's
playing Friday night.
And like you have to sell some of these shirts so you can afford the tickets.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. If anybody wants to buy some shirts, hit me up on my Instagram.
Send Dark to Tool.
So I can go see Tool.
He's going to go tip his Tool.
Yeah.
And if you're coming to Glendale and want some shirts, let me know. I'll bring the shirts to Glendale and hand deliver them.
And he'll sell them to you.
But we can't pay them we cannot barter on site.
Not on site.
We can walk across the street.
Wait, you said barter, so like the prices are negotiable?
Yeah, they can go up if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can tip me. You can tip me. I'll sign it for a nominal fee.
Oh, okay.
Oh, signing's free.
Scotty wants one.
I know. He doesn't have any money. And honestly, I didn't get any child sizes.
He hasn't been riding. He hadn't been riding. He can fit in adult stuff now.
Yeah. Next segment. Moving on.
Okay. Let's get into the Race Tech Open discussion. And you know what? Actually, before we get to this first topic, let's announce Yamaha, our other presenting sponsor, Yamaha Motor USA. With a reputation of dominance, it doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha's new 50th anniversary edition YZs pay tribute to a half-century of championship-winning performance wrapped in stunning retro style. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com. I mentioned Yamaha right now because we're going to talk about one of the riders, Eli Tomac. 10th overall. Mm-hmm. qualified 4th, 6th in his heat. He started 14th in his heat and got to 6th. Main event started 3rd, dropped to 10th. Not a good night for Eli. No real word on what the issue was. A lot of speculation. Anybody in this room worried?
Nope.
Scotty, you've seemed more worried off record when we were talking a while ago. Like you thought that was maybe.
I wouldn't use the word worried.
Okay.
I would worried. I would say more of just like, you know, a little bit to me, it was unexpected for him to. Like, I can understand him. I've seen him have races where, you know, he starts 5th or 6th and then maybe falls back to like 7th or 8th. But to go from 3rd and being like running the pace with the leaders to end up 10th, I thought that was odd. That, you know, I don't know what the whole news story is.
There isn't
on that.
one. Yeah.
I mean, maybe like whether you want to speculate that it was arm pump or bike setup or whatever you think it was. I do expect him to rebound. I know Glendale's usually a good race for him. It'll be a different style of track. So worried, concerned. I don't know if I would use those words, but I'm keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not worried. I think 3rd to 10th is a big drop. I was definitely thinking something was wrong with the bike. It felt like something had to be wrong with the bike. I will say. Yeah, I will say, like, I'm picking him to win this week. I'll go ahead and jump. That's going to be, once we get to the picks, like, I feel like there's going to be a massive shift. We've seen in the past when he's not comfortable, and that track was pretty nasty, that he will back it down. So maybe it's a combination, like in my mind, excuse me, combination of some arm pump and being uncomfortable with the setup. And he's just like, I'm not going to push. That's going to be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
I do wish they would come out and say something.
Did you read Did you not read their press
Yeah,
release?
there's nothing in it.
Exactly.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I wish, like, you come on out and say, like, okay, this was the problem, or we did have a problem, or something. I would love for them to be more transparent, but we know they're not going to.
Yeah. Well, Scotty, you say you're kind of worried about that, but
I didn't. I said I wasn't worried.
No, I'm saying like I'm talking about at the beginning. Like it stood out more to you. To me, it just seems like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just standard Eli nowadays. You know what I mean? Like he maybe even.
I thought the standard was more starting 4th or 5th and maybe falling back to like 7th or 8th. We'll go from 3rd to 10th. Like that's.
But look at how deep the class is now.
That's another part of it. Like if you're off just a little bit, you're going to get eaten up. Like you know, and he was off quite a bit. But
that track wasn't doing anybody any favors.
Yeah, the track was nasty. So I think when you put everything together, the track, you know, he probably did tighten up a little bit. We've seen it happen. Like at Indy last year, he finished 8th, and I think he got tight. And then even in Tampa, he was 5th, which he had started a little bit ahead of that last year and then dropped back. We see rides from this, at least one ride like this from Eli every year. And we're always like, oh my God, what happened? And then he'll come out and win next week, or
he won't next week.
Or go beast.
Yes.
You say he won't next week? I mean, this week.
This coming up week, he won't win.
He won't win?
No, we'll talk about that when we get to our picks.
How many points back would he have to be before you said he's not going to win the title? Because I know I was listening to Lewis and ML's
to the Vital
review, and Lewis said that he's pretty much saying that Tomac's out for the championship. So I don't buy
that at all. Lewis said that, or ML said that?
Lewis said that.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I don't know where he's at in point. I'm
not going to say he's going to win the championship, but I'm not going to say he's not either.
No, because I could see him going on 3 or 4 wins easy. And
I'll look that up.
I got it right here. Just give me a second.
Let me ask you this as well.
Yep, go ahead.
Do you, even if Jet pulls whole shot, you still picking Eli for this weekend?
Yeah. So he is 16 down right now.
That's what I'm saying. He's in the teens, so
that's a lot,
especially with the field we have.
No, if Jet.
What if Eli pulls whole shot and Jet's second?
There's definitely Eli has the speed to run with Jet, and Eli has the speed on his best nights to track Jet down. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe not every week. I mean, look, I want to talk about Jet in a second. We'll jump in. Well, let's just do it now. Jet, we've said this is special. When you watch him ride, it looks so effortless. And just the way he's wheeling into some of the rollers and making up time and just these little things he does, the guy is special. So overall, I think in the long run, the long season, Jet very may well win this championship.
He will.
Because he has so much. He just does have so much skill.
But no, I've heard other pundits of the sport talking about how you used to have RV, or you would have MC, or you would have Ricky, guys that were dominant for so long, and they were just the front. We're about to see that with Jet. I think
so too.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for, I'm not going to say it's going to be a completely dominant year this year. I do think Eli will be able to beat him. I think Cooper will beat him on nights.
I feel like that was different though, because Ricky and MC and James, maybe not so much Poto, but they would start they could even start 15th, and they'd still win.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that their first year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is his
but
first
I don't
year.
know. Right now, with the field we have, those years of the RVs, the RCs, the McGraths, I don't think that's going to happen again. I think there's too much talent. Chase is too good to just get dominated every weekend by Jet, and then some of the other guys.
Chase is going to
Kenny.
Chase is going to be like Reed.
How so?
Because Reed was always right there. He could always win. He was always a competitor. He was always in that
I think
spot.
there's more of those guys, though, than in the past.
I think we're going to...
Instead of, usually there's, one guy that might be able to beat RC or one guy that might be able to beat MC. I feel like there's 3 or 4.
Who?
Well, right now, Kenny, Chase, Jason,
but those
Cooper.
guys, but
Justin Cooper's coming on. I mean, in another year or two, maybe one of those guys.
I just think that we have Chase, we have Jet, and Cooper for the next 2 years, because I think the other guys are getting older. They're going to be where Roxon is, where they can have great rides. You get what I'm saying? The changing of the guards happening.
Yes, yes, it is. I just right now though, I don't. Eli, I'm not worried about Eli. I think Eli wins this weekend. Eli's going to show beast mode. He's going to come back around and be like, oh yeah, remember a month ago when we thought something was wrong, like we do every year.
Yeah.
He's fine, in my opinion. Eli's not going to go down like that. He may tell us in 2 weeks. He might open up and be like, "Yeah, I just wasn't comfortable at night, and I backed it down." He's told us that. How many times has he told that over the last couple of years? I'm not willing to push it when I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
I don't even think we're all that way.
Yeah, and then as far as Jet, he won by over 5 seconds.
I don't even push it when I am comfortable.
Right. But just I watch Jet and I go, why? You would think these other guys at this high level, like a Chase Sexton, go, oh, I see what he's doing. I'm going to do that now. But I really think Jet is just that much more special. It's just the next level.
Yeah.
And we're seeing something, we're about to see something for a long time that's very special. That kind of leads into, we got about 12 minutes, the topic that Scotty brought up. He texted me something he wanted to talk about with Jet and with Hayden and all the hype. Some of this is with Jet is talent based. Some of this is just hype from social media, et cetera. And he asked the questioner, has the social media created the hype that social media has created for Hayden Jet? How'd you want to ask that? You said, does it create more drama for the season? Yeah, because I just scribbled some notes down.
Let me read it. I worded it pretty well in that text. Let me read the text.
I just scribbled it down, and I don't even know what the hell I'm asking.
He did what I do.
This is very great.
He did what I do.
Did what I do?
Yeah, he did what I do, which is put the text in and then try to read it a few times to make sure it doesn't look. And I fail at it all the time.
I said, how do we feel about the hype that social media has created for Hayden and Jet? Both have had drama this season, and I just think it's a good topic of discussion.
So the hype in general, I think that's why there were some boos and people were getting 50-50-ish. People are getting very annoyed at hearing about these guys. And I don't think it's fair necessarily to Jet or Hayden so much, but yeah, the hype gets old.
Yeah, kind of what I was thinking is, for lack of better words, it was, have we created monsters with this? Have we created these glorified,
divas?
Yeah, a little bit, because Jet had the thing with Anderson, he got booed, and then Hayden was flipping people off. And,
yeah, I had that in my notes too. Flipping people off.
Yeah, and it's just like what? Not necessarily have we created a monster, but what what has that direct result of social media and all this hype, and how do we feel that that's going to affect the future of the sport?
TJ?
I don't think it's a negative thing. I think the social media. I mean, I think it's because of social media. Those people, Jet and Deegan, especially Deegan had a following before he came in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like the drama that comes from it, I guess, because I'm just not a guy that likes drama, but the sport has changed. The world has changed when it comes to social media. That's how we connect, and that's how sponsors and advertisers, that's what they use to kind of decide, well, where are we going to put our money and spend our money, and they want that stuff. So in the end, I think the drama from the social media and the hype is good for the sport, but it's also very annoying.
Yeah.
There are some people that love it. There's people probably coming to these races to see Hayden that weren't really into Supercross before, but they like the Hayden Deegan thing, the story, the YouTube. So it's probably good for the sport, but it's still, at some point you go, yeah, okay, dude, I've heard enough. I'm tired of seeing videos of Jet walking out of the Honda rig right before the race, or Jet packing, I don't mind seeing that stuff, but show everybody.
Why are we interviewing a 250 Heat 2 second place finisher? I've never seen that before.
That's the other thing. I do not like
that. If that was anybody, we didn't do it. They didn't do it for any of the 450 guys. They didn't do it for the other. Why? Why?
I don't like that. Not the rules, but the
it's
way.
Not that I don't like it. I'm just asking.
I don't
why.
like that they're changing things for certain people.
Yeah.
Because of the hype. But I also understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because there is a demand for these people. Couple of these guys.
Another question is, say, the SMX championship came down because Hunter couldn't do the last race. It came down between Shimoda and Hayden. If Shimoda had ended up winning that SMX championship, would he at the opening ceremonies, would he have come out with the purple and yellow plate or whatever they're doing, like they did with?
I think he would have. Yeah, I do think he would have.
I mean, that's fair.
Because they're pushing the SMX thing so much. But I think when they started doing 250s and open ceremonies last year, a lot of that, I think, was because of Hayden, because they want to push the Hayden name. And man, they're doing it's no different than the NFL, and everybody's pissed off that they're constantly talking about Taylor Swift at the Kansas City Chiefs games. But it gets more eyes on the sport because people that don't give a shit about football but love Taylor Swift are going to watch to see Taylor Swift, and that brings more eyes on the program, which means more ad revenue is possible. So they're going to do it's a business.
Yep.
But they don't care that us hardcore fans don't want to see this, or hardcore NFL fans don't give a shit about Taylor Swift necessarily. The NFL doesn't care.
But
NFL doesn't care. Well,
why,
why
does everybody care? They're doing that for the people who, like you're saying, don't really know the sport, to bring people in. Why do we worry about that?
I don't know. I mean, even me, I'm bothered by it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm not so mad that I'm like, I'm never going to watch this again.
No. I mean, why do we even, it's almost like there's two groups of moto fans. There's people like us
for sure,
who know a lot of the inside. Not social media, not like journalists like yourself or whatever, but a lot of people who are like our buddies in our group message that know a lot of the inside tracks because they follow a lot of the riders. Who cares what they do on the TV or whatever? I will say that
I don't know.
The first time that I was like, come on, when they interviewed him for second place in a heat race.
Yeah, I mean,
but that was the first time that I was like, oh, come on.
Again, I see it a little bit and I go, okay, that's annoying because they don't normally do that, or it's like special privileges because of certain people. But also at the same time, I barely notice it. I'm watching the race and I see this and I'm not going, oh my God, and throwing a fit. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then I just pick up my phone and look at my phone, or I get on the fantasy website and look at what's going on there or whatever. And it doesn't ruin my night like some people.
Does the press box, do they lose their crap when they do that kind of stuff?
Generally we don't see that so much.
They don't have it playing.
I mean, sometimes they do. And there'll be comments here and there, but I don't think anybody in the press box really cares that much.
Yep. Are we going to talk about, you went through your stuff, we're talking about Triumph coming in this weekend? Is that on one of your?
Yeah, I mean, I do have notes on Swole and stuff. How much time so we got about 6 minutes. Yeah, what do you
I just what were y'all thoughts about trying? The bike looked good. The obviously the riders aren't.
So Triumph may or may not be in my ProX highs and lows.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about it, but I mean, yeah, let's get to that in a
Sounds
little
more
bit.
like they maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
What did you think? Since we're talking about Deegan stuff, you mentioned him flipping off Tom Vial. That I didn't like that at all.
Oh, it is.
I understand during racing you get heated and things happen, but like he didn't know who actually caused the issue. So you're like maybe wait and find out for sure.
No, to him, that's who caused the issue. That's what happened. I think he was totally fine flipping him off. I think afterwards, when he found out it wasn't, hopefully, we don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully he went over there and be like, bro, I didn't know it was you. I didn't know it wasn't
Do you know if that
Sorry.
happened?
That's fine.
I have no idea. No.
But I'm just saying, if he went afterwards and was a man going, hey, bro,
Right.
didn't mean to do that, move on. And y'all know me, I'm not like a super Deegs fan. So I'm not a fan, but I'm not like
I didn't like it. It
was funny.
But then if Phil had done it, I would have thought it was great.
That's what I'm saying. It was funny.
Yeah, it just didn't. I don't know. No thoughts, Scotty. No opinions. Like it's not a big deal. I was just kind of like, because I'd obviously watched it on TV, so I knew that.
Well, that was
it wasn't Tom's fault.
That was kind of that was one of the things that I was thinking of when I came up with that question. Is like did social. Is that Hayden being Hayden, or is that because Hayden has the following that he has? Has the hype created him be that person that would do that, or is that just?
No, I think that's just a competitor in the heat of the moment.
Okay, yeah,
that's what I think. Yeah, I don't think he did it because of anything that was contributed by social media.
Did he get fined for that?
I doubt it. Not that we've heard.
There's a lot of explicitives going on. There's a lot of censorship that needed to happen at the race this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Logan Carnow and David Pulley's sponsor OnlyFans was probably like, "Hey, man, get us involved, Cameron McAdoo."
Jeez.
But a lot of crazy stuff this weekend. So I wasn't thrilled with the flipping off. One of the other highlights, I mentioned Justin Cooper a little while ago. We're jumping all over the place, but there's notes here and there. But Justin Cooper is my surprise so far of the year. Really have been enjoying watching the way he's riding. He qualified sixth, second in his heat. I think he finished ninth over on the night. Not the best night, but I just feel like Justin's really riding very, very well. There's multiple times he's beat Eli now.
Yeah.
But
nobody's noticed?
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess it's just not. I think people are noticing a little bit, but it's like not really talking about it a ton.
Yeah, because there's
Justin's just quietly really good.
Yeah, no, he's doing really good. But what do you want if you're like a team? Do you want somebody who can get you like in the top, right around the top 5 regularly, and just nobody notices, or do you want somebody who can, maybe get on the podium, but maybe wind up 10th, but causes drama? Because it gets you more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like exposure?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and
we like him a lot. We have him on the show. He's a good interview for, when we're talking about things that aren't moto stuff, but
yeah.
Yeah, like do you I guess here let me pull up the points.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. We're going to go ahead and it's a couple minutes early. We're going to get Daxton on in just a second. We can keep talking because we got to get him on the phone.
Okay.
But
we can.
He's got. Well, we need to keep talking until I get him on. But he has another. He just texted me and said he has something else that he didn't know in 30 minutes. So I'll get him on the phone. We'll get right into it. So once I get him on, just understand. But go ahead and finish your thought.
Like you're saying.
Yeah. So let's see. Justin Cooper. Okay, he's behind.
He's like
Barsha.
11th.
Yeah, I thought he was ahead of Barsha in the points.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want somebody who is going to be 11th in the points, but is like doing it quietly? Or do you want somebody who's 11th in the points because they weed themselves all the time, but they could, they got speed.
Let's say Justin Cooper and AP were tied in the points right now, and I was a team owner, I'd pick AP because of
personality.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll come back to that in a minute. Guts Racing, Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, winged seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget, they have a complete seats for the Talari and Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron and Segway. They strive to ship orders within 36 hours, so visit gutsracing.com and order today. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us Star Racing Yamaha's Daxton Bennick. What's up, Daxton?
How's it going, guys?
It's going good, dude. Good to talk to you. Congrats on third place.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was pretty good debut for sure.
Yeah, has it kind of set in? And, well, does it feel like that's something that you can do consistently now? Like, now that you've done it, don't just take out the carnage on the first turn. Did it make you more confident, more comfortable?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't know, obviously, my nerves, like how it would be going into the night. But, no, I struggled a little bit during the day. But, honestly, I felt better. Like, once the gate dropped, I was a lot more focused. So, yeah, that was sick. And, yeah, I mean, I felt like I got, like, out there and then just adapted to the track. And, yeah, just kind of rode smart, like how I do at the practice track.
What were your honest expectations going in? I know you've said you were pretty confident in your abilities, but what were your honest expectations going in that night?
I honestly thought top 5 would be really good and a podium would be like a win. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I could do a top 5 pretty easily and then, like I said, podium and win. But no, I'm pumped. I really rode like myself that night, and that's what I was really happy about.
Love it.
Yeah, Daxton, with the way that the first turn did happen and, kind of affected the race a little bit, some of the riders were kind of saying that, the 3-week break will help them. Some of them got banged up a little bit. It's kind of going to be a reset for the people that didn't do good. For the guys that had, a podium ride like yourself, how is that going to affect how you implement your training for the next upcoming weeks? How do you continue that momentum that you got with that long of a break?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some things I could work on, but obviously if we were racing this weekend, I'd be pumped. I'd be ready to go for sure. But, yeah, I mean, we have 3 weeks off now. So like we rode yesterday and today and, yeah, I mean, I'm riding a little bit of confidence now, so it's nice. But, yeah, I think I can always get better, like even riding different tracks, different dirt. So I'm always learning, and especially riding with like Cooper Webb and the 450 guys, I can always learn from those guys.
Yeah. So when you came back to, I guess y'all did y'all's first day of training yesterday for the week. When you showed up to the Star facility, was the chest puffed out a little bit? Like, hey, did y'all see that kind of thing? Or, how tall were you walking back into the practice facility this week?
No, I was pumped, but, I stay humble at the practice track because I don't want to go down acting all crazy. So, yeah, we had to tone it down when we practiced. But, no, I mean, I definitely had some confidence, but it really just felt like another day, honestly. Like, we just clicked off another day. So, yeah, it was good to get back to the farm, though. Like, the vibes were definitely high, for sure.
So, you've got a couple of weeks to let this sink in. So, is this going to, set the bar really high for yourself? What do you think do you feel like, okay, well, I need to repeat this every time, where if you'd have come in with like a 5th, which was a good result, I could build from this. Now you're like having to hold up the results rather than build from there. Where are you at mentally on that?
Yeah, I mean, still my rookie year, obviously. So, the bar is definitely high, but I mean, I like it like that, So I think we'll do like we did like the past weekend. So just go to Arlington and try and figure out the track just like we did. Like take it. I really just like to take it, one step at a time. I don't really focus too much on like the race when I'm practicing. I just practice and then, one step at a time, focus on my start. And yeah, I mean, I feel like mentally I'm in a good spot. Yeah,
that's good to hear because as a rookie, mentality is kind of, you could be all over the place. You don't really know what to expect. You're still young, trying to figure it out. Now, you talked about being confident, thinking you could probably get a top 5, but what was the actual game plan? Was it push for a win, or was it just try to get through it and, be consistent? And then I'd like to know how your game plan has changed, if it has changed, with the podium.
Yeah, so going into it, well, I guess during the race, I had a really good start. I was probably been top 3, but obviously I got pushed off the track. Luckily, didn't crash, but yeah, I was probably 8th or 9th. I got into 4th, and I had a pretty big gap from 3rd, obviously, and then behind me I had a gap. So I really hammered those laps. Like, I knew I seen Anstie and Hymas in front of me, and I was like, maybe I could get to him. I don't know. But I just really locked in, and I was super focused those couple laps, and I was hitting my marks really good. But once I got to third, dude, I was like, it hit me. I was like, dang, I'm in third right now. And then my mechanic put on my pit board. He was like, charge, try and get antsy. And then I was like, all right, yeah, I can't think about it too much. So that's what I did, obviously. And I caught up to him a little bit for sure, but the win really wasn't that far. So that's what I was really stoked on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying like you got this podium and it's awesome, and we're talking about pressure, but let's get to the real meat of the deal. Is you probably got a really good bonus.
Oh God.
What are you buying yourself? Like what?
Really, that's where we're going.
That's where we're going. What do you like? What hobbies do you have that you're now going to dump a bunch of money into?
Well, hey, I got to get out of the trailer park, dude. I've been living in a fifth wheel. I've been living in a fifth wheel at the farm grinding, so I got a house to pay for now. I got to build a house, so yeah, we won't be spending it yet. But
I'm gonna say the bonuses are a little bigger than I thought if you're buying a house with it. I'm just gonna
Not yet, for sure.
Down payment.
We got to get a couple more podiums first.
Yeah, for sure. We got to build on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of going off of that a little bit with the podium finish, what weighs more to you, the fact that you got third or the fact that you stayed within 6 seconds of a guy like Forkner and 3 seconds with a guy like Anstey? Which one resonates more with you?
I would say the podium. I think I knew I could be in there. Like I knew I could be within that for sure. I feel like I caught him a little bit, but no, that really gave me a lot of confidence knowing that I wasn't that far off. Like you said, Forkner and Anstey. I get to train with Anstey like a little bit here and there when he comes and rides. So I knew going into the season, like where he was. Like I knew he would be really strong for sure. But yeah, it was cool. Like even seeing him in front of me is cool because like I obviously ride with him a lot. So yeah.
The schedule change for the format for Saturday. Obviously, this is your first one, but how did you like going second in the heats, and then it was a pretty short break compared to normal in between heat races and the mains. It was a little off. Did it bother you at all? I mean, you don't really even know what to compare it to necessarily, but what'd you think of it?
Obviously, I've never raced first, but I would say the difference is the first heat is. I mean, you can really go fast in the first heat if the full track is smooth. So the intensity's high, heart rate's super high. Honestly, by the time I raced, it was pretty beat up. The whoops were beat up, turns had some ruts. So the pace was a bit slower. And then the gap from the heat to the main, I actually didn't mind it. Like I like staying warm. I don't like sitting and thinking about it too much.
Sure.
So I literally just had like a banana. I was just chilling, watching like the LCQs and stuff, and then. Yeah, I felt like I was back on the gate probably 30 minutes, but I honestly liked it.
Yeah, I bet you were really glad you didn't have to go through the LCQ because the 250 guys had like 10 or 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I was on the gate, and those guys were just getting off the track going back on the gate. I felt bad for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know Mathis last night had Scuba on and was talking about Evan Ferry. And yeah, he won the LCQ and then would basically just stay down. I think they said they had like 9 or 10 minutes to get ready. Crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. We got a listener question here. Austin Jessett, his question is, ask Dak if he noticed Cam's twig and berries.
We got to stop talking about this.
He paid.
He paid. Was it, if you were in that situation, would you pull out or would you keep going?
He didn't say pull out. He said pull off.
Water out.
No, I didn't. I didn't see it obviously while I was riding. Thank God. But no, it's funny. I've had this conversation with like my teammates. I'm like what would you do?
Yeah.
But, dude, I don't know. Like, I honestly respect McAdoo for that. Like, he let it hang out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I would do, dude. That's a hard decision for sure. Hard.
Yeah, like a pretty soft decision.
He just
yeah, true.
Easy. Yeah, Cam was on Pulp last night also, and a listener called in and said, "Did you like think about quitting?" And Cam's like, "What'd you just say? Quit? Like I don't quit, man." So yeah, props to Cam. He's a bad dude, no doubt.
I respect it.
Yeah, you have to. Not only is it like. It's just embarrassing, right? You'd be embarrassed, and you got to go out and be the best you can be. Like
I just thought of this. I wonder if untucking this shirt would have helped.
Maybe a little.
Oh,
Probably
yeah,
not.
that might have been a play, honestly.
Yeah.
It might have worked.
Next time. Next time.
Yeah.
You mentioned the track being pretty ruddy, in heat races and stuff. That track got beat. It was nasty.
Yeah.
Again, like, is that something you're pretty comfortable with? I mean, jumping rhythms and all that and ruts and it'd been nice if your first one had been a little bit smoother.
Yeah, I mean, the farm gets really rutted, obviously.
Yeah.
Nothing like the race, but for some reason, I always knew I would be good in that scenario, which I was also pumped. I got to race East Coast for that reason. But, yeah, I always thought I would be good in the ruts. I don't love the hard pack. I'm getting pretty good at it because I ride it a lot. Like the farm will have days with hard pack, and then we ride Colleen, which is right down the road, and it's really hard pack. So, yeah, I'm adapting to both, but I honestly like when the track is a bit slower and technical. That's more my style for sure.
Okay. Well, then, I guess that was a good one for you, clearly.
Yeah, for sure.
You had I liked your story last year where, you did the futures and you kind of had audition kind of situation. And then, they had the cool story where Bobby Reagan gave you your contract at the end of at one of those futures races. From that point to now, what is the biggest thing that you've improved on, and what do you look forward to gaining this I guess your true rookie season this year?
Yeah, I mean, I would just start practicing when I was last time I rode Supercross. I couldn't hang with those guys in the moto at all. Like I could maybe do a lap or two. But, that pace was really fast to me, and now it's coming a bit easier. And, like, some days I am the fastest guy now. So that's the cool thing for me. Like, now I get to experience the real program, and more time in that will obviously I can only build on it, So getting to ride with or being in the mix every single day. So that's really good for me. And, yeah, we keep it fun at the farm. We do sections a lot. And, no, I'm excited. And I feel like training at the farm, I can only get better, so I'm excited.
If you were, do you think you would be where you are if you were on a different team?
Honestly, no, I don't. I think I have a really, really good bike. I think I have the best bike, and I think the program is also the best. Swanee does a really good job. He knows what each of us know or need, and Jeannie's a part of it too, and she pushes us I was riding Tuesday. I rode Tuesday, and I was staying after doing section. So just because you get a podium don't mean nothing to her.
Yeah. That was last week.
Back at it, yeah.
So we talk about futures a little bit. We have one of your teammates, Gavin Towers, coming up next. You're going to give us some dirt on him to give him a hard time.
Just ask him how the girls are. Just ask him that.
Okay, we'll definitely throw that in there.
Yep, write it down.
Yeah, you got to. He'll love that.
So, do you, with your training with Gavin, what he went through going through the futures because you're just recently out of it? Does he come up and add you? Did you talk pointers about that kind of stuff? I know he's kind of made a really good showing last race.
Yeah, well, yeah, but Gavin rides really good at the farm. Like there's days he rides really good. So I told him for Anaheim, you just got to ride like you at the farm, and you'll win by a mile. He didn't ride that good at the race compared to how he rides at the farm, but I think he's got it under control now. Cooper Webb's on him too, so he's in a good environment. As
a fan, we're glad he rode the way he did because that may have been one of the best races this year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Hayden watched that race together, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire race.
Yeah, it's funny you say that he didn't ride as good as he does at the farm that night because I was there live watching it, and yeah, we're on the press box, and it was an amazing race. But then I rewatched it yesterday. I go, oh wow, he made a lot of mistakes. He was clipping jumps and just I think his heart rate was a little high, and he was a little overly excited, which made the race great. But yeah, I can see if he cleans that stuff up, he was definitely a little faster. And we'll get to that when we talk to him. But yeah, I've heard the dude's been ripping at the farm. So we'll get to him in a minute. But I've got some listener questions I want to get to in a second here. Did you not have another one, TJ? I thought you had another one.
Well, we have a listener question.
Oh, okay. Do that then. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a listener question asking about how Austin and Austin and Anstey had to show you how to pop the champagne. Didn't you know how to do that from Loretta's?
No, there's no cage on it at Loretta's. No, that was actually, I mean, looking back, I was kind of mad because I didn't know how to do it, but looking back, it's kind of cool. Now I got a story to tell, so it worked out.
No, it was very impressive, man. I was really happy for you. We've been talking to you now for a couple of years, and it was good to see you get up there. And I'm kind of glad that the race went the way it did. Everybody went down that first turn. Like, it's going to make the 250 East exciting. It's going to be a hell of a season for you guys, and it's a really stacked field. I want to ask about your dad's emotions. Was he there with you?
Yeah, he was. He was there. He flew in actually. Like he's a pilot, so he flew in his own plane.
Oh, cool.
Didn't take me with him, but like whatever.
Yeah.
But no, he was there. I come up the track. That's like the one. Like I really wanted to see him, and he was. He shed a tear, but
yeah, I love it.
I mean, normally when he sheds a tear, that means I rode good. So I was pumped, and dude, yeah, he was really stoked, but he also keeps his, like really level-headed, and we all know, like, we got to go back to work next week. So
yeah. I've seen your dad show his emotions before, and I think your dad's a really cool dude. So I had a feeling that one meant a lot to him. So I was wondering how that went.
Yeah, for sure, man. I was like, when I got off the track, I was like, "Where's my dad?"
Yeah,
I
of course.
To see him.
Yep. You've talked about the teammates and everything. Having guys such as Cooper there. Even Justin Cooper has been around a long time, and a number of guys that have been around for a while. Who do you take the most? Who do you learn the most from? Who do you kind of lean on when you have questions or struggle? Are there any of the riders that you're pretty tight with and kind of can give you some advice when you need it?
Yeah. All of them really. Like,
okay.
I take things from Jordan. Like, Jordan's obviously really, really good in the whoops. Me and Hayden bounce off each other. He has obviously really good corner speed and aggression, but I feel like I can learn stuff from even all the 250 guys and the 450 guys. But Jacob has that crazy outdoor one lap sprint. I don't know how he does that, but maybe one day we'll get there. But yeah, even Cooper Webb, obviously, he helped me a lot, and he helped me set up my bike a little bit too, and that was a huge help.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, very cool.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have another listener question from Austin. He said, ask him how much faster Hudson is than him on a pit bike. I don't know who Hudson is.
That's Hudson Deegan.
Oh, it's Deegan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was
we did a lap time. We did a lap time battle. I beat him, but it wasn't by much. For sure.
He's a ripper, huh?
I mean, that's like, isn't he? Probably fits him size-wise better. So.
Yeah. Hey, well, good thing he doesn't race Supercross. We might be in trouble.
Yeah. Right. All right. I know we got to let you go in a minute because you have another thing to get to. I have a few more questions from our Vital forum, so I'm going to hit you with a couple of these.
Okay.
It says to ask you how amateur racing could help prepare young riders better prepare for pro racing. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there's only a few good amateur races, and I feel like it's Loretta's obviously, and the Moto Playground races are really good. Sometimes, they have the B and the A race longer, 20, 25 minutes, which I think it should be. I don't think it matters too much when you're younger on the 85, but when you get to B class, you need to be racing long motos for outdoors. And I think the future's a good thing, but there needs to be maybe even more, like you can't, it's not going to hurt for sure. So, I think longer motos would help a lot. And the Moto Playground does a really good job with that. And some tracks, like that they pick to do those races at aren't the best, but, Springadine is really good. And I feel like Oak Hill's good. Loretta's is really good, but Loretta's more like a pit bike track, I always thought, but, it gets really rough. So that's obviously a good help.
Okay. I'm going to ask you two more. This one says, what do you perceive as your greatest sacrifices from a normal childhood to make it where you're now in the pro career? And what were your parents' sacrifices? What stands out to you? Things you had to sacrifice and some things your parents had to sacrifice for you to be where you are today.
Yeah, well, starting with my parents, they had to, my dad obviously had to take a lot of time off work and, travel any weekend I had to race, a qualifier or whatever it was. And even staying a week at a time, obviously Loretta's, you stay like 2 weeks. So my whole, my sisters too, they sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
School, they wanted to be home with their friends. So yeah, so they had to come. My mom obviously sacrifices a lot, always going with me to the races. And, it's honestly a big family. I couldn't do it alone for sure, but yeah. And then me, obviously, I think everyone knows, like, we put in a lot of work that no one sees for sure, but we wake up and we train every day, so there's no real off season, so your head's always to the grindstone.
Yeah, those are good answers, man. I'm glad that you're aware of that. That shows you got a good head on your shoulders. We got one more for you.
Sure.
Our listeners obviously love you because the live chat's going nuts with questions. We have one here. Says, what would you think about a 17 race combined East and West, like a complete 17 race 250 season, or leave it East and West?
That's hard. I mean, it's going to be stacked for sure, but
yeah,
I think it would be. Also, there's 2 championships, East and West, so obviously it's hard, but it gives you 2 shots at winning a title. It gives 2 people a shot. But if they combined it, obviously it'd be a lot of carnage. But I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. It'd mean more, in my opinion, if it was a full series.
Yep.
I feel like it'd mean a little bit more. But then, the idea originally was it's a feeder series. It wasn't really originally designed as having full factory back then 125 riders, and it's just the way the teams are. It's the structure has changed over the years. I kind of would rather it be a full series. Just no, you don't think so, TJ? You don't like that?
I mean, I think it maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be carnage. I feel like.
Well, either way, I just like good racing, so it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm okay with it either way. I would prefer it to be full series, but that's just me.
It gives a lot of guys more chances of building their
career.
Yeah, the guys in the back of the pack.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, Daxton, we're going to let you go. Daxton Bennick tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Appreciate you jumping on here with us. Look forward to seeing you back in Arlington in a few weeks. Yeah, man, spend these next 3 weeks grinding, and we'll get you another one.
All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, hopefully we'll be back on the show soon.
All right, buddy. Be safe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right.
All right. Yep. Daxton Bennick tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Yeah, he texted me right before and said that he had to jump on. He has another thing come up, and Lewis just texted me and said October 25th was the last time he was on the show. I don't know if that means he wants to come on. Should we let him back on?
Well, somebody in here asked if Lewis has ditched the show for Kellen.
Oh,
somebody in the group message.
I'm gonna guess he's getting paid to do.
Yeah, and
the
so,
LVK show. He doesn't get paid for this show.
And Donnie said that we should start a GoFundMe to deport Lewis. So,
well, Donnie, I don't like that. Look, first of all,
Lewis is awesome.
Lewis is my buddy, and Lewis doesn't do well with negativity pointed at him.
Yeah, Donnie.
So be cool, man. He doesn't take the jokes well, and Lewis, in my opinion, is the best journalist in our sport.
I mean, yeah.
I look up to Lewis, even though he's younger.
Yeah.
So
and he's taller than you. So
he is taller than me. That's true. So yeah, no negativity towards my guy, please.
If that's the case, I look up to everybody.
Yeah. You're a wee little feller. Wee little feller.
That's not very nice. I mean, we would.
Thanks to Daxton Bennick for coming on.
We prefer height challenged.
Dude,
mentally
awesome.
challenged and height challenged.
I got a lot of challenges.
Okay, we're gonna jump into now the X Brand Forum check-in. This is a little weird for me doing this way. I'm used to going right into another guest.
Yeah.
We'll have Gavin Towers on in just a few minutes, but yeah, X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, the 2023 National Hare and Hound XC1 champion Dalton Shurry, 2023 AMA National Enduro Champion Grant Baylor, also Lyndon Snodgrass, motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norn, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin, and more. Visit XBrand, EKSbrand.com, or go to your local dealership and ask for XBrand goggles, distributed through WPS. Tonight's...
We did have someone earlier say that the GNCCs don't let...
Yeah, I'd let him know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to bring that up.
Yeah, they don't allow tear-offs, right?
Yeah.
You got roll-offs ready to go, or?
I actually don't. I
didn't even know
I had to take... No, I did. I had to take... But I took my door...
Is that really a thing?
I took my little door off the rollers to let somebody else have it because they needed one, and I never replaced it. So.
Oh, is it like a littering in the woods thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I actually don't have roll-offs for next weekend, but I get it handled.
Just do the old smudge and smear with the gloves.
Yeah, I just look down.
You've seen those like gloves with the little wiper on.
Oh yeah.
That's what you need. A little skirt.
All right, so I'm reloading this page, so just bear with me.
Loading.
Reloading.
Great
What is Lewis saying here? Oh, boy. I don't know if you want me to read this, Lewis, so you're going to have to tell me if I'm allowed to read this last text. X-Brand Forum check-in. Titled, Psychological Effects of Seasoned AMA Supercross MX Champions Getting Beat by a 20-Year-Old. Big Red Machine posted this, and he said, other than the mud races, Jet Lawrence has everyone covered in the speed category in Supercross if it's a normal dry track. I wonder what's going through the minds of all these past AMA Pro Supercross and Motocross champions when they see 20-year-old Jet in front of them and they're like, damn it, this kid is fast. Where can I find more speed? But all they can do is watch him steadily pull away no matter how hard they push. I'm thinking after his rookie perfect MX season in 23, Jet is already the psychological edge knowing that he is the fastest rider and he's only going to get better. Anyone want to comment? Because I don't think these other riders believe that. They can't allow themselves to believe that.
I think what would be more interesting to me is it's not one. I don't know if Jet's. I don't think Jet's playing a game. I think it's just his strategy to get a gap and hold it. But
I think so.
You got to think that that's a factor to those guys that like they're like, okay, he doesn't just completely get away from us. So is that, are they thinking about like, oh man, like if I could just find a little millisecond here, millisecond there, I can get him. Do you think that what's more frustrating, that or if he was just gapping him by 15, 20 seconds?
Oh, I think if he's gapping him by 15, 20 seconds and they had nothing for him, that would be worse. Yeah. I think they truly believe it. I do think sometimes he's not toying with them. He's just, I'm not going to keep pushing when I don't need to.
Yeah.
I think
it's just strategy.
The Chases and the Elis and the Kennys think, yeah, it's just I got this guy. I just need a little bit here. I think they believe they can go that pace. Yeah. They have to believe that or you're beat. Yeah.
Well, at the same time, Jet's in a more, obviously, he's his rookie season in 450 class, but he's been on the same bike. He's been on a Honda for a long time. Eli's coming back from an injury. Chase is on a new bike. Cooper's on a new bike. Anderson's on a new version of another bike. They're still kind of, I think, getting into the season, kind of, catching up a little bit. So I would be more likely to see where this conversation would go if we had it in a few more weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know if we've seen, I just don't know if we've seen enough. Like I want to see him start fifth and then catch them all, pass them all. Like there's things like that I need to see before I'm fully said that they're defeated.
Yeah. Do you think mentally, TJ, that Eli or like Chase, let's say Chase, last year we saw, he got beat every round, never passed Jet once. Do you think Chase is mentally beaten, mentally defeated?
I think that Jet, it's going to answer that question, but I think that Jet screwed up, and obviously didn't do it on purpose, but about having a bad opening to Supercross, because I think if he'd have come into
after first round.
Yeah, after first round. If he'd have come into the second or even another round and won, like just outright beat them like right off the bat, first two rounds, I think they would have all been like, oh, we can't beat this kid.
Really?
But I think that the way that those other rounds went was kind of like, oh, there's a chink in the armor. And so that kind of motivated them to, because they just think what he did this last summer. And so they're like, oh, God, this kid's really good. We'll get in the Supercross. Maybe I have a chance. So we're going to push real hard. The first round they beat him, they're like, oh, this is not good. Yeah, second round.
But all those guys, Eli could say, well, I'm coming off an Achilles injury. But Chase can say, I'm coming off a new bike. So they can all kind of have these things where they tell themselves, it's okay.
But if he'd have come out and won more of the opening rounds, I think it would have, like, what do you call it? Like, broke their spirit.
Maybe. I don't think so. Not with the guys that I think can win consistently, like Chase, Ken's getting, kind of getting almost over that hump, but I'm still going to put Ken in that category. And Chase, those three guys, I don't believe mentally they're getting beat yet.
haven't we all run race series,
Or
right?
Cooper Webb either.
Like
There's no way Cooper
we've
Webb.
all raced local series. I know we're not on their level, but we're racing against our competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a guy in the class that you race the first few rounds and you're like, this dude just keeps walking from me.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just going to get second. Hopefully something goes wrong with him.
I just don't think they think like us.
No, they're
those
not,
are like the
because that's
best in the
because
world.
it's a hobby. You know your limits, and you're like, okay, yeah, that guy's got me. But like those, not at that level. I'm with Dark Sound now. At that level, they're not. They don't think. They can't think like that.
I think they
because
do.
I think it's your when you're.
If they're thinking that,
I mean, I think there are guys. I just spit all over you. Sorry, TJ. Hopefully, I didn't get it on you. I think there are guys like maybe like AC right now, where he just kind of knows I'm not at that level, and there's guys like.
How did he get to that level? Like, how did AC get? Because AC came in with a head full of steam.
But all the injuries, and
That's
now
what I'm
he
saying.
knows he doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is I don't think it would take that long to start breaking somebody when you have a 24-0.
Yeah, I'm just talking about today.
Yeah.
I'm not like if we go the rest of the season. Let's say Jet goes undefeated the rest of the season,
He probably
and
will.
nobody has anything for him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe they do get to a point where like, okay, we're this is gonna be a long couple years.
You don't think you don't think he loses another race the entire Supercross
I think
season?
it's highly possible he doesn't lose another race.
Yeah,
I
I don't want to think. I don't want to agree with that, so I'm not
Because
going
it's
to.
It's just a big ass.
But yeah, anyway, I don't think they're mentally beat yet. Those top other 3 or 4 other guys, does I don't know, pick like I said, Adam or Malcolm Stewart think that he can beat Jet? And I don't know.
Do you think Kenny? Sorry, I don't know why I said
Chiz?
Kenny. No. Do you?
Yes, Chiz can beat Jet.
No. Do you think Plessinger thinks that he can beat Jet?
Oh yeah, AP. Like we talked at the Metal Hall of Fame stuff. He full belief of himself right now. He's as confident as I've ever seen.
Yeah,
him.
I think because it hasn't been proven yet. I think that they're saying that okay, we're gonna have to do something different if he gets the whole shot. But I think if you asked any of them that if he starts behind them, that they can't hold him off, then I think that those guys think that they can. He hasn't proven that he can do it unless the only 2 races he's won is Supercross, he's pulled the whole shot at.
Yeah.
Other than that, he hasn't won any of the other ones. So until he gets a win without pulling a whole shot, those guys are still going to think that they've got him.
It's coming.
And I also believe, as I said earlier, I don't know if I finished my thought, but when Eli Tomac is at his best, quote unquote beast mode, or Cooper Webb is at his best, I fully believe they can run with Jet at his best. You don't. You're shaking your head. No, not everybody can hear that.
Okay, yeah. Well, I do not believe. I don't agree with you. I think that when Jet gets everything figured out on a weekend where everything's right, Jet's gone.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess only time will tell, but it's an interesting thought. Let's jump into our next topic before we get Gavin Towers on, and this is a new segment. We may refine this a little bit, but the Barnett Clutches Clutch Performance of the Week. This is something in the future I kind of want all of us to get some input on,
I like
and I just came up with it today, so I didn't have time to reach out.
Somebody else came up with that, and you're just
No,
that's
actually
too good for you.
It's pretty simple. Barnett Clutches Clutch Performance.
Lewis probably came up with that,
Lewis would have probably come up with something a little better than that.
or Weege.
That was my idea. Was actually pretty basic.
Yeah, I like it.
Anyway, Barnett Clutches, the Barnett Dirt Digger Clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger Clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with promo code VITALMX, all caps. Guys, go use those damn codes. Use them, abuse them, order a lot of stuff, promote this show for us. That helps us out so much. It's going to help the show grow when these sponsors want to keep staying involved. So please, next time you need some clutch plates, Barnett Clutches, barnettclutches.com. Use that promo code. If ever you guys can't remember the promo code, hit me up on Instagram or
just go
email.
onto their Instagram and tell them thank you for sponsoring the show.
Yeah, that's big too.
Yeah,
but
let
still,
them
spend
know
some
that
money
they're
with
paying
them.
attention. Well, I mean that kind of shows that you're going to in the future.
Yeah, but I picked this week for the Barnett Clutches Clutch Performance Jalek Swoll. I don't think we had a lot of high expectations for him.
Yeah,
New bike. He's had he hasn't had a ton of great performances. But he came in and rode well. Qualified 12th, 9th in the heat. Started 4th, I think, in that heat, dropped to 13th, and then moved back up. But rode well. I think finished 6th, maybe? 6th? Yes, I think it was 6th. I was going to say 5th, but what?
Yep, that's
I think
right.
it was 6th, which not a bad performance. New bike. I was happy with that. He was kind of up and down throughout the night. If I'm not mistaken, was he the one that teed up? No, Pierce teed him up.
Oh, yeah, Pierce teed him up.
Yeah, Pierce teed him up. But still, came back 6th overall in the night on the main event. I thought that was pretty good. What did you think of Jalik's ride? And then you wanted to talk about Triumph, so we can do that in here.
Yeah, I think he did really well. I think he did a really good showing for the bike. A lot of things went wrong, and that couldn't have been a better choice for a clutch performance because, he kind of pulled it out when things weren't looking the best. The things weren't looking to be going his way, and yet you wind up still in sight.
Steel or still?
Still.
Steel, like steel metals?
He's flustered.
Is he frustrated?
He's frustrated.
Are you getting frustrated?
He's frustrated.
That was off air, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no! Was
I
it?
think
No.
it was. I think it was
wasn't
off
the
air.
first-
It doesn't matter.
Oh, man.
So he is still in sight
Yeah.
of the leaders as far as points go.
Scotty,
So
thoughts on Jalik and Triumph, and Evan?
Are we not doing my own clutch performance?
yeah, no.
I mean, if you have one that stands out, you can. I was gonna think from now on we'll pick one. We'll just kind of agree on one. But if you have one, but it looks like to me because you're on your phone, you're researching.
He's on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm researching.
Well, that doesn't help the show right now.
So I think it was really good, and like you said, Triumph did a really good job.
Yeah, Evan Ferry won the LCQ.
That was also
So that was good for Triumph. I don't think they had any mechanical issues that we've heard about.
well, and I want to say that when you said clutch performance,
Yep.
the first thing that popped in my head was Evan pulling out the win because it did not look like things were going good.
No. So that's actually, I mean, him winning that LCQ, things did not go well in the main.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good ride for them. I think it was a good performance for Jalik. I hope that he can get some better performances. I want to see the team do well. Obviously, we want them to stick around. I want Jalik to show that he's got the ability to be a featured, top rider. So anything, Scotty?
Well, that just didn't make any sense. So I was trying to look up the lap chart to see where AP started on his first lap to where it going, but it's like I don't really know how to
Decipher.
analyze this, but I was going to say AP because I feel like he had to do the most work in the main event to work up to where he was.
Here. So AP started.
What are you looking on?
Hang on, because I can't do that. And started 14th. Lap 2, he was 12th. Then the next lap, he was 9th.
Wow.
So he jumped up to 8th for about 3 or 4 laps.
I didn't realize he come from that far back.
Yeah, and then
Where did he end up?
Like 4th or 5th, right?
Yeah.
They got 5th.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Pulling it up right now.
So I want to say
6th.
6th. I want to say that's my clutch.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's
14th
pretty
to
good.
6th. Moved up pretty fast in the first few laps. Not the night he wanted in Detroit. I think he wanted to make another win and to make up for last year. But yeah, that's a good one.
I think he was reaping the benefits of a lot of guys not being up to where they want to be. I know it sounds dumb to say, but I don't think we'll see him with a red plate again, and I think he's going to slowly get shuffled back as the year goes. Not farther back than that.
I'm looking right now. Eli, he beat Eli, Justin Cooper, Hunter Lawrence. This weekend, Justin Barshaw's been off, but we're here. I think Justin's not 100%, so hopefully Justin gets turned back around.
Yeah.
But I think AP has a couple more podiums. I think he can get a couple more podiums.
Yeah.
I'll give him at least one more podium.
Yeah, I can see it.
Are you not buying into the AP stuff right now?
No, AP is awesome, and I think him winding up in the top 5 every weekend is highly possible. But because I think he'll be consistent like that. I just don't think that he's going to wind up being fast enough to win another race or be on the podium.
I'll let him know you said that when I see him this weekend. Blood lubricants. Do you think all oil is the same? Well, it's not. It's a bit like food in that you can have all the same ingredients, but a great chef will make something that knocks your socks off. Blood Lubricants was developed from over 40 years of knowledge in the oil business and is used by racers in the most grueling motorsports on the planet, including the Baja, NASCAR, Indy, NHRA, sprint cars, motocross, supercross, and many more. Blood Lubricants has a reputation for lasting longer than other brands and is known to keep your bike running up to 30 degrees cooler. Simply put, if you want the best oil you can buy in your machine, you want Blood Lubricants. Visit Blood Lubricants, and that's BLUD, bloodlubricants.com, and check out their newest lines, including their Pro Series Barracuda, Scorpion Blood, as well as lubricants and suspension fluids. Use that promo code VMX25 to save. Tonight, Blood Lubricants brings us from Star Racing Yamaha, Mr. Gavin Towers. What's up, GT?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. We just talked to your teammate Daxton Bennick a little bit, and we're going to just start this right off. He said to ask you how the girls are. We don't know what that means.
Oh, my God.
You got to fill us in.
But we need some details.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. He told me right before this, he's like, oh, how you're going to the show tonight? I was like, he's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And then he told me what was going on, and I figured I'd have a question coming from him. So
yeah. So how are the girls?
I don't know, dude. Not bad, not great, but it is what it is.
GT, are you? I mean, how old are you right now?
19.
So, do you have a chick? Is that what this is about? Are we dating? You know, in Florida? Are we I mean, what's the girl situation?
I don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
no.
you need to focus on racing.
So he's setting them up and knocking them down, is what he's saying.
We're too close to a state college to be dating any girls around here.
All right. Well, let's get into some serious stuff, some racing. So A2 finished second in futures. You weren't thrilled, but honestly, that was one of the best. That whole weekend was amazing racing all the way around, but that was one of the best races a lot of us have ever seen. Cole Davies was very surprising because Daniel Blair told me he was going to be good, but I was not expecting that performance. I went back today and watched the race again, or actually yesterday, and honestly, I didn't realize you had made a lot of mistakes in that race. So
yeah.
Now when you look back on it, do you look back on it and go, okay, I'm good, like I just made some mistakes, or do you look back, are you still frustrated?
Yes and no. I think I learned a lot from that race. With my injuries over the last course of, since 2022 in August, at Ironman, I did my ACL and then collarbone and then wrist. I've raced like 5 times since then. And I think it's just been a little lack of racecraft, just in general. And it just felt like, man, like 50% of the races that I've raced in the last year, I've gotten hurt at. Like, I just need to get through some races where I'm not getting injured. And it almost went south real quick when I made a big mistake and hit the tough block. But
when you jumped off the track?
Yeah. But for the racing side, Cole rode really well. And I was just you hate to lose, but I was more frustrated with myself. And, I felt that I should have rode better. And, you look back and watch the race, but no, we're working here and just trying to get better through that, and then just do a little bit more racing, get through a little bit more racing, and I think that'll help in general because when we eventually go pro, there's gonna be a lot more races, and you gotta learn racecraft.
So it's funny you say that because watching the race live from Anaheim, I thought the racecraft the two of you guys were showing was very impressive. And what I saw was with 2 to go, maybe 3 to go, you clipped that double, and then you were off for a lap. But then watching it back, I was like, oh wow, you were clipping a lot of jumps. And so again, those So was that a matter of, or do you think that was a matter of just pushing a little too hard, or why were you making those mistakes? Do you think now looking back?
I think looking back now, I was just riding a little bit 1-2 tenths, and then just almost reserved in a way. I was riding just a little reserved, I would say, for the most part, and just
so the opposite of what I thought.
That. Yeah, but I did override in a way too. Just the track, be patient, and I was not being patient at all. The track was brutal. There was ruts up before the finish line, that long rhythm section. I mean, the ruts on that 2-3 were no one really could see it, but they were pretty insane. And I know they went out and fixed them before the third main, but they were they were brutal. They didn't really touch. I don't think they touched any of the track in between. The last or the second 450 main event and then our main event. Like it was gnarly. And I think it was Gordon on like when I rewatched the race. I didn't notice it obviously when I was racing, but like Gordon in the first lap had like a big endo, and like I knew every lap I was like, I don't care if I put like I have a little front wheel high, but like I do not want to endo on this thing because the ruts were super deep going up the face, and like you almost took off before the top of the lip just the way the ruts were.
Gotcha. Is that what sent you off the track on that one lap?
That one, no, that was just me. Well, Cole kind of like I didn't know what Cole was doing because the ruts, like I said, were sketchy, and I didn't know how he was going to get sent off of the jump because we kind of picked two opposite lines that I know we didn't hit the lap before, and then I hit a different line and just came up a little bit short, and then the wrist I had broken in LA just kind of blew off when I landed, and then that's kind of what sent me. Like as soon as I landed, my hand was off the bar, and that's kind of what sent me right off of the track.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah.
You got lucky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gavin, I was looking back at all your Supercross Futures results, and you've podiumed everyone that you've done. I know the win has eluded you, but with the podium every single time that you've entered one of these things, does that give you validation that your training and your program that you're working on is on the right track and pointing in the right direction?
Yeah, definitely. I think just I've had going into each of the futures, I've had just a little bit different of a program. Then I was training in California, getting ready for them, and then now me being with the guys here in Florida, I train with Swanee and all the pros here. It gives me a little bit of extra confidence just when I can be close to their times, which I didn't show it at A2, which is where I wanted to show it. But we have more futures races to kind of show a little bit more speed. I was a little bit disappointed in myself about just I felt I had more and I didn't prove it, honestly, and that came from myself.
That's good though. That's good that you feel that way. Oh, go ahead, TD.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I was gonna say, Gavin, you did the futures there, but the amateur nationals are starting up. Obviously, you're going to be riding those in the A class this year. Are you?
Yeah.
So you're going to do Loretta's again this year, or are you going to do the outdoors nationals?
I honestly, I'm not sure yet. It's just kind of going to be more kind of what the team has decided for me and stuff like that, and kind of see how.
So you're just going to do what you're told, is what you're saying. You're just going to do what you're told, right?
Yeah, well, for sure the spring nationals, I'm going to do those. And I think those would be good regardless, just get more gate drops. Like I said, like I'm still going to do like the area qualifier stuff. Just if they have me go that direction, then that's what it is. And, but no, for the most part, I'm just going to get more gate drops in and just race. And, cause I missed all those last year. I didn't race. I raced my first race, back was an area qualifier, and another area qualifier, and then a regional that I got hurt at, and then the second regional I raced with a broken collarbone. So, like I said, there just wasn't a lot of racing going on. So I think these, I'll have Daytona, Oak, or I think Spring Innings at Oak Hill now, Freestone, and then you're back into two more futures that I think are pretty close together. I think St. Louis and I think Foxborough, and then before you know it, Salt Lake's here, and then from then on, I'm just kind of I just more based off what the team I think says and kind of what they think my direction would be. Yeah. But if it is that case, I think I'll still do some nationals. I'm not sure. Don't quote me 100%. But for the most part, I know what my March schedule will look like, and that's spring nationals.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So does that mean you're practicing moto now? Are you like off the soupy track? Are you still riding the Supercross track throughout the day with the other guys?
No, right now I'm still. I rode Supercross, this week, and then I'll probably ride a little bit of outdoors next week, just at least a day or two, and then I think I'm gonna race next weekend, probably an area qualifier, and I'll ride. It'd be good to get an outdoor gate drop before I head into spring nationals. So, no, I rode a good bit of outdoors when I got back from my wrist. When everybody else was starting their Supercross boot camp, I was a little bit behind from my wrist injury. So, but I felt really solid on outdoor. So I think we'll be good in a good spot once I get back.
Cool.
Yeah, doing your first Supercross races like that, it's probably hard to find like a base setup. Are you are you going off of what some of the other guys at Star are doing? Are you using some of the same components as them? Kind of take us through how you've gone through the setup process to get prepared for Supercross races.
I'm not entirely sure how similar my stuff is to theirs. I know for the most part, like I was just on a setup that the suspension guy had given me, and for a while I was just learning how to ride Supercross, properly, and so there was kind of just stages I had to go through and kind of make my bike set up, and that's one thing I learned. Going into that race, the track was rough, and there's some things watching back in the race that could have been better, regardless of I know I could have been better too, but all around I think we could have made a couple changes. So we're working on that and then get those ready for the next one, which is Daytona. So yeah, that's definitely a learning curve though.
Yeah,
because I'm not the greatest tester in general, but like I know that like I have a little bit more feel obviously on outdoors. So Supercross, I'm not like when they make a change, like I'm not sure how that's gonna react. So I kind of just gotta go ride and base off my feel. So no, it's a learning process all the way around.
So listen, you just said you're not that good of a tester. How is the testing process for you then? You go out, you do some laps. Do you say, okay, it's whatever, it's kicking a little bit here, or if I feel this, and then your suspension guy just makes a change? What's the process when you're at the test track and want to test some different ideas?
I just tell them kind of how I feel, because I know if I act like I know what I'm talking about, I'm going to go in a completely wrong direction. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just kind of tell them how I feel and how the bike's kind of reacting to certain things. What
about if you're pretty comfortable? Let's say you went and rode Supercross today and you're like, dude, I feel great. Do you just leave it, or does your mechanic or suspension guy say, well, let's try such and such?
Right now it's basically after A2 something else. Even if it's good that day, I'll just be like, let's just go elsewhere. Just to try,
okay,
trial and error and see how it goes.
And when you do that, when you change something, do you feel it? So do you say, oh yeah, I noticed the difference, or are you kind of like, I can't really tell?
It depends, I think, on the change. Sometimes I like didn't notice like anything, and then other times I can feel it. So
okay,
it just kind of depends on the difference of like how big or small I guess the change is.
I mean, from what Dax was saying, it sounds like you just hand your mechanic the bikes. Like, I got girls to go talk to.
Oh, for sure.
One more question for you. Going back to A2, what's something you talked about kind of learning and using that process to build, but what are a couple lessons you learned from A2?
I think just, obviously, I needed to execute my start better. That could have changed a little bit more, but
yeah,
just staying a little bit calmer. I mean, I felt like I rode under my 100%, but I rode under my 100%. Hand was spazzing out a little bit, so like it was kind of a mixture of those things. And I think I just need to kind of rein into what I work on at the practice track and kind of pretend it's like a day at the practice track, because if I do that, then I'll go out and execute, the result and get the result that I want. So, because I feel that I'm better than what I showed, and yeah. But regardless, I got second place and I got beat. So
yeah,
you live and learn. You take it on the chin and you move on, and we got our next one. And that was the hardest part, though. You're only as good as your last race, and I have a month to my next race.
Right.
So.
But yeah, you said, you should just go out and ride like you do at the practice track, but that's the trick, right? It's figuring out how to make race night the same as every other day. And I think every rider struggles with that. Yeah. Everybody's flying at the test track. How do you transfer that to race day? So if you can figure that out, you might be able to write a book, but that is definitely the key though.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think that's just going to come with, like I said, the more gate drops I have, and just settling the little bit of the, we're always going to be getting nervous on the line,
sure,
regardless. I think I've always gotten nervous, whether it's a local race or, it's in front of all those fans. I've always just had to stay a little nervous. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't really care about what's going on. So
true.
Just the more gate drops I have, I think I'll get better and just improve my racing a little bit. So that's where I'm just struggling a little bit, because I know my speed is good, but got to show it at the races.
talking about the practice track, one of our listeners in the live chat here for the motocross is ask, is Mrs. Carmichael kicking your butt every day at the farm, and how is that?
Oh yeah, she is. She's very very nice, and then it's like she's always nice. I can't say that. She treats us very well, and she busts her butt for us, and yeah, she's a tough lady to please, that's for sure. Well, she's like, I'll put a lawn chair out here and I'll sit out here all day until you get this right. But it makes us stronger, it makes us better. No, but she's good to have around.
So you've trained at other facilities as you were coming up as a mini rider and getting onto the big bike. How is the program there different from anything you've done before?
I think, I don't know, just the group aspect, and then Swanee's obviously Garrett Swanepoel's obviously a proven trainer. I mean, he's created a bunch of champions in the past, and hopefully can be one of those champions one day. And something like that, I think that's just speaks within itself. So just trusting in his program and just putting in 100% effort every day, and just being, and even utilizing all the tools that are there. You have guys like Jordan Smith and Nate. These are all the guys that are race winners, and there's just a lot to learn. But especially, like I said, they have a proven resume. Especially, like I said, Garrett Swanepoel. He's just proven resume, and he's built champions, and you got to trust him what he says and what he knows.
All right, just got a few more questions for you. Gavin Towers, brought to you by Blood Lubricants tonight. Don't forget to use that promo code VMX25. You just mentioned some of your teammates like Jordan Smith. You've got a few guys that would be considered like vets on the team. Jordan Smith, Justin Cooper, Cooper Webb, obviously. Who do you take the most advice from? Is there a rider that's on the team that you kind of like, hey, you try to sponge off of a little bit, or is it all of them?
A little bit of everybody, but Jordan has helped me out a lot, just kind of giving me tips and stuff, and even Cooper. Like, I'd say those two. I mean, they've been around that's probably the longest out of everybody on my team if I really look at it and stuff like old. That. So I'd say, yeah, those two have helped me. Just Cooper helped me, like, just explain things in like bike setup, and then Jordan just, like, obviously he's one of the best in I'd say out of everybody in the loop, so he's helped me with that a little bit, and just I'd say a little bit of those guys. But no, I try to take a little bit from everybody and use it and learn.
Okay.
When you first met those guys like that, especially you're being real young, was it intimidating at all? Did you kind of fanboy out at a little bit with those guys, or how long did it take you before you felt comfortable to seek advice from those guys?
A little bit in the beginning, but that was back in like 2022, and then but no, everybody's just normal. It's not like they're just normal guys. Like, they like to have fun, just hang out. But I'd say like it was definitely Cooper. Like, he's a pretty funny guy. He just always joking around in the locker room and stuff. So no, it's cool. We have all a good atmosphere, and it's definitely not. It's enjoyable to show up at the track every day.
All right, Gavin, let's do 2 or 3 of our Vital Forum listener questions, and then we'll let you go.
Sounds good.
All right. So, member Team Green asks, who do you think has changed the sport? So, as a kid growing up, enjoying this sport, is there a rider in particular that you're like, wow, that that really stands out as far as what they contributed to the sport of Supercross?
I think I have 2 probably.
Okay.
I don't know. These are just kind of growing up. It was definitely the 2 Ryans. I mean, I think Ryan Dungey, just with how, dude was just ultra consistent. Never, like, he was just clean cut, like, did his job, and then Ryan Villapoto, like, I just really like that guy. His work ethic, he wasn't ever like a super standout amateur, and he's had one of the most impressive careers like to date. So I think those 2, well, both of them have had 2 of the most impressive careers to date, but no, I think those 2 are probably my 2.
Okay.
Kind of all time for like changing the sport. Like, I don't know, like, they definitely just my 2 tops. Like,
perfect. Okay.
One of the fans said Vince Freezy.
It's changed the sport? Yeah, he hasn't had to experience that yet, thankfully. All right, Justin Bogle's Whipfoot asked, we heard in the offseason you were one of the fastest riders at the farm. Did this put more pressure on you to perform at A2, and was this part of why you were so frustrated?
Yeah, it's a pretty good point. Like, it added pressure, but like, yeah, it definitely added a little bit of pressure, I think, and that's what made, it is probably why it bummed me out too the most about my performance. Like, I was a little bit disappointed with how like fast I was riding going in, and then with how things went throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely disappointed in that. So like I said, like taking on the chin, it's hard when you don't live up to your own expectation. That's probably what frustrated me the most. Like, you get beat, you're like, whatever, that guy was better than me that day. But when you don't meet your own expectation, that's probably the worst.
I appreciate the honesty. I got one more for you. And we asked Daxton this question. Spoon Guy wants to know what you feel your greatest sacrifices from a normal childhood were to get to where you are, and also how you see your parents' greatest sacrifices to help get you to where you are.
My sacrifice is just, I don't know. I don't think like in my decision, like this is all my decision. This is what I love to do. So for me, like I felt this was just my best path. Like I didn't feel like I sacrificed like my whole childhood. Like I always enjoyed riding my dirt bike. But as for my family, like they sacrificed a ton. Like they're all, my mom, my dad, and my sister are at home, and I'm separated from them, and I miss them, and I'm sure they probably miss me, even though I'm a pain in the butt sometimes. But no, like sure. I'm thankful for them and thankful that they've given me this opportunity. So I definitely want to make them proud. But as for myself, like this is always what I've wanted to do. This has been my dream since I was a kid, just to have fun racing my dirt bike and make a career out of this. But I would definitely not be in the business I am without the three of them.
Yeah, 100%. But so no, like if I'd gone to regular school, you go to the prom or stuff like that. Like you don't regret, or maybe play some other sports even. You don't feel like there's any regrets as of this point on any of that kind of stuff.
No, but I finished a lot of school. I went to 7th grade. Well, okay. I guess that's not really a lot, but I finished 7th grade and then became cyber schooled. And until even after that, like I'd go home in the winters, I'd snowboard, or if I was home in the summers, I would wakeboard. Like I was never like a ball sport guy, so I didn't really care about that stuff. But like as for other things, I did them. Like I love the snowboard, like the wakeboard. Right now, I haven't done that in a while, just with my scenario, just being here and stuff like that. And I'm at a point in my career where I can't afford to get hurt off doing something like that. So, and then obviously I've always liked golfing. So those are just my 3 other things I've done.
Perfect.
But no, like as for normal sports, like I don't feel like I ever missed out on this.
That's good to hear, man. Good to hear. Well, GT, appreciate you coming on for a little bit tonight. I think it's the second time you've been on the show, and yeah, we look forward to the next Futures race. We want to see you and Cole go at it again.
Yeah, hopefully we can get up on the one up on them this time. But no, I'm ready for another fun race, and hopefully it'll be better. All
right, go out there and stuff some of the stuff Cooper Webb tomorrow at the track. Next time you're at the track, put a wheel in on Cooper Webb and tell him that that's from us.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, see you, GT.
Good luck with the girls.
Later.
All right, see you, buddy. Bye. All right, that's Gavin Towers tonight, brought to you by Blood Lubricants. Good to have these young guys on, and as they're growing in their career, pretty exciting.
You like young guys?
I like talking to the young guys.
I'm on a roll right now.
Man. Yeah.
That wasn't very nice.
When I said it, as I was saying it, I was like, one of these two fuckers is going to say something, but yeah, good stuff.
Wow, it's terrible language.
You know what Dark Side and Mushrooms have in common? They're both fun guys.
Okay, moving on. You know what?
It was good.
We're jumping into our troll training top 5 right now,
yes.
Which this week is going to be people you would have liked to meet. And I have on my notes for next week is going to be your top 5 non-moto websites. The following show is going to be top 5 jokes.
Oh, that's going to be hard.
Well, you just gave one, so
dumb.
like dad jokes.
Like, are we
Dad
going to be
jokes are-
giving out knock jokes or like our favorite type of jokes?
No,
or
like you're
that's-
like I definitely have 5 jokes I could think of that
but
crack me
some
up.
of
So
them are long.
Dude, I have
like-
the worst joke in the entire world, and I can't
Well-
share it in public.
well, we're gonna do top 5 jokes in a few shows.
We're not in public. We're in a room.
Write this down, and I'll tell you the
Well,
joke
let's-
afterwards.
First
Remind
though,
me when we get done.
Troll training is the culmination of a combined 3 decades spent in the trenches of the professional sports scene, refining training methods, learning, absorbing, and training alongside some of the best in the business. Alex Martin and John Wesling have expert guidance in helping you navigate the many nuances of training, including periodization, endurance, strength and conditioning, riding technique, on the bike structure, nutrition, and more. Visit trolltraining.com. We are giving some months away free for the winners of some of the weekly Vital MX MotoXpod Show League Fantasy League. So there's a couple guys getting those. It's kind of cool. You kind of get your feet, put your feet in the, what is it? Dip your feet in the water, toes in the water. That's what I'm trying to say. And see if you like it. It's helped me out a ton. Guys like Grant Harlan, Jeremy Martin, Henry Miller, and Jason Anderson are all involved in it. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely changed the way I feel and look, and Troll Training, it's really, really good. So visit trolltraining.com. There's a few different packages you can choose from to kind of see what you want and tailor something towards your needs. But if you're looking to improve your lifestyle and get in shape, Alex and John can help you out. Trolltraining.com. Troll Training top 5 people you would like to meet. Did you guys make a list?
I did.
Did you check it twice?
I only had 4 people I could think of.
Really?
Yeah.
I
So
really
you
just
don't want to meet that many people.
I just kind of started. I just really just picked some random ones.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's start. We had a couple listeners reach out
Yes, sir, with them.
to motoxpodshow@gmail.com because they enjoy being a part of the show, and we like this, so we hope you will too. Garrett Rockley, first of all, said, good question. Thanks, Garrett. He
Why
said,
does anybody give you any credit for anything?
and this is from 5 to 1, Danny Magoo Chandler. Dude was insane on a motorcycle. Arden Senna. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Watching him drive was just magical. AYRTONSENNA. I don't know who that is.
Senna is, he's just like a world famous race car driver.
Like, of what kind of racing?
I believe he raced Formula cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like Senna. Anyways.
Yeah, cool.
And
All right.
he had a lot to do with McLaren and all that.
Ah, okay. Okay, cool. Winston Churchill, not well liked, but had the foresight on what was happening in Europe just before World War II kicked off. Jocko Willink, Navy SEAL, and just gnarly dude. He put 1A and 1B. George Washington, the general that guided the colonial troops to the upset of all time over the British Empire. And Teddy Roosevelt, gnarly man, almost gets assassinated and keeps on the campaign trail, and combined the phrase, speak softly and carry a big stick. It's pretty good. I like him. You guys like him?
Yeah, sure.
You got any problems with any of his?
No.
All right, cool. Good deal. Zaphod Beeblebrox. Nope. What's the next one? Hang on.
I was just say nope.
Because this one doesn't have, there they are. He has 2 emails. Carl Jung, Terrence McKenna, Aldous Huxley, Jesus H. Christ, and Plato. Honorable mention, Bill Hicks. He doesn't give his reasons.
We're supposed to have reasons.
You don't have to, I guess. I mean, I would think there'd be a reason you'd want to meet these people.
Oh.
Unless you just pick people randomly, like it sounds like you did.
I did
Stay
not. I
tuned.
put a lot of thought into mine.
You just said you didn't.
No, I did put a lot of thought. I can only think of 4, though.
Oh.
Okay. Do yours, TJ.
All right. So
I don't feel like the segment's going very well tonight.
I don't think it is, but
Let's do top 3. How about that?
no, we'll get
he's
to
got
top
4.
5 or whatever.
All
We
right.
got 4. I'll do my top 4 then. So
Oh, yeah.
Sabine Hoffenfelder.
Okay.
She's a physicist, just really smart lady. And anyways, I'd like to meet her. She's alive. She has a YouTube channel too, also, so it's pretty interesting. Elon Musk. I would love. It's all depends
Lewis
on.
wants to meet him. He had some issues. We had a meeting
For other
today, and-
reasons?
No, he doesn't have an issue. There's just a topic that Lewis would like to discuss with Elon Musk, if possible.
Yeah. So the question is this like, hey, you meet the person, shake hands, or is this like go to dinner with?
Yeah, I would.
And hang
I
out?
think my thought was like somebody that you'd like to go and have a conversation
Okay,
with.
so then that's what I went with. Guys that I would like to spend some time talking with.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, John Stossel, and in my 4th place the reason why I didn't say it originally is because I mean, I guess it would be my second place person, but not because I look up to the person. I would just like to know what this person's thinking, because it's going to be really funny when you think of my number one, but was Hitler.
Okay.
But not because
I get it, because that name crossed my mind too. Like what the hell was like?
Yeah, just the type of person he was.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, and so anyways, and then John Stossel. I don't know, y'all know who that is, right? John Stossel. He's still alive.
I know the name.
Anyways,
Heard the name.
really smart, politically smart guy or whatever. And then number one, Jesus. I don't know about the Jesus H Christ, but Jesus, like Jesus the man.
Yeah.
Whether you believe that he was actually the Son of God or not, I mean, the guy changed the world more than anybody else in history. I can't, if he's not the number one on everybody's list, whether you believe he was the Son of God or not, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
You want to give yours?
My number one was also Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I would it would, you just have to, like you said.
You have to.
Yeah, you just, like, I would have, you want to meet that guy. Like,
our calendar is based
Yeah.
because of Jesus. Everything,
Exactly.
anyways, yeah.
no, what I would ask him, I don't know. I would just it'd just be cool to just.
I couldn't understand him, but maybe.
Yeah, it'd be a different language. Well, you gotta assume that you would understand the same language. Jesus is my number one. I also put Nikola Tesla. I wanted to see what some of the things that he had in the box that got buried or destroyed by the government, whatever conspiracy theory you want to listen to.
And if you would be interested that there was a band named after him?
Yeah. Tell him, I mean,
And a car.
Edison's
Or
medicine.
Two car
Yeah.
companies.
I didn't care
Yeah.
about the car.
Mozart. Just wanted. Well, he was actually kind of like.
He'd be like, "Hello, I'm Biff."
That's Beethoven. That's Beethoven, bro.
You are the most politically incorrect douchebag.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
He was just, he kind of was the basis for the music that we have this day and age. Like, that was the real start of real orchestra and all that. So that would be interesting to meet him. I also have Donald Trump.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I just, I would want to play golf with Trump. Like,
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Okay,
I'm with you.
and then also I didn't really do this in order. This is kind of all over the place. And also Tom Petty. Tom Petty just seemed to have a very chill outlook on life. I think I say Tom Petty, but really his character in King of the Hill Lucky, that's the version of Tom Petty that I want to meet.
I got you.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's just some of the people that came to mind when I tried to do this list real quick.
I'm now up in the air between Hitler and Trump. I don't know which one I'd want.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, either one of them would be an interesting day to hang out with them for a day.
All right. Hold on. Can we try to guess darks? A couple of darks.
George Lucas is on.
Yeah, or Spielberg. Probably like some random, like
Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King is going to be on there. Some random metal guy. Like, he already met Sebastian Bach.
It's got to be at least two of them are metal guys.
Yeah. All right. Proceed.
Go ahead.
So you named two of them.
Yeah, but not surprised.
There's one musician.
Yeah.
Not two. But
Okay.
I'll give you 3 of my 5 you guys got right, technically.
Okay, let's see what they hear them.
All right. Let's start with Rosa Parks.
Okay.
Why are you shaking your head, TJ? Because you don't like black people?
No, because she was
Whoa,
not.
you're talking about him saying politically incorrect.
He's like shaking his head.
She's not the only person that didn't.
Well, then you can be whoever you'd like.
Like, were you going to be like were you going to go to the back of the bus or like?
I'm just telling you,
she didn't go to the back of the bus.
Didn't,
yeah,
she's not even close to the only person that did that.
It's just a person that I thought of.
Fair enough.
Like, it just would be interesting.
Why,
if you could kind of like, hey, this is how some things have improved. Or anybody. It could go Martin Luther King. You could go a lot of different people.
I feel like Martin Luther
picked
King.
Rosa Parks, so F you.
Wow.
I didn't like your list either.
Wow, aggressive.
You take your Jesus and send him back.
Whoa.
Send him to the back of the bus.
Clearly, there's a divide on the table here.
Bruce Lee.
I
I think Bruce Lee would be pretty cool. His outlook on life. Like I've got
Yeah,
one.
I
Of
don't
his,
know.
Be like water.
he seemed like
So
a really
racist.
interesting guy.
That's one of his quotes.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's how he would say it.
Abraham Lincoln, I think, would be another person in history. It'd be kind of cool to be
I
like.
thought of like Washington or Lincoln or
Yeah.
somebody like that too. But I went with Trump.
My weird thing was I couldn't understand them if they were talking hardly.
Yeah. 7 years ago, I
Talk English, bro.
yeah.
Stephen King is on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of questions I'd like to talk to him about.
I knew that was on there.
Stephen King, my favorite author. Maynard from Tool.
I was thinking of like I don't know. Whatever
You said metal band. We were
no. When he said that, my first thought was like Toe Mater.
He said
No,
Maynard, not Maynard.
Maynard James Keenan.
Yeah.
And then, George Lucas.
Yeah.
George Lucas is my number
TJ.
one.
That's just what popped in my head.
I mean, George is the man. So,
It's like-
those
It's like $500 for backstage passes to Tool, isn't it?
500. I don't know. I've never looked at backstage passes, but
I think
I wouldn't. These are my top 5 people that I'm not going to pay to see.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not going to pay to meet anybody.
I got you.
That's not my. Yeah, I'm out on that.
I'd pay to meet Jesus.
You would? How much would you pay to meet Jesus?
I mean,
Because you're cheap.
my life.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Jeez. I don't even know where to go. That was pretty funny. That was pretty good. I don't really know how to respond to that.
Moving on.
yeah.
All right. FXR is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by the Muck Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more, including our next guest. FXR has core motor roots. Visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership to see the complete 24 line, including the Helium and Revo. Tonight, FXR brings us from GNCC. He won the last round of the 2023 series, Josh Strang. What's up, Josh?
How's it going?
It's going good, man. Really pleased to have you on. Sorry that it's so late.
That's all right, mate. But I think I'm almost 36, so I guess that's what happens when you get old. You start going to bed earlier, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm 48, and I mean, I'm an hour behind you right now, but I'm ready for bed now. So.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm catching up, huh?
Yeah. You'll get there. You'll get there really quick because I'm sure you realize time starts going by a lot quicker the older you get.
Yeah, and then with 2 kids running around, it seems to go extra quick.
Yes, absolutely. How old are your kids right now?
Maverick, he'll be 6 in June, and then Tucker, he's 2.5 or something. So,
bro, you got a long way to go.
Oh yeah, but they're wild. Yeah,
I have heard about you racing for years. I haven't followed a lot of the GNC stuff or whatever. I 100% did not expect the accent.
Oh, really? You didn't realize he was Australian?
Because all the guys that we talk to that are GNCC guys are, hey guys, it was so much fun racing this
he's
weekend.
actually from Carolina. He's just pretending.
Yeah. I think the only reason I knew is because I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of the like Moto 6 or 7. You and Caleb Russell were on a thing together, like talking about your training. I think that's the only reson why I knew. But that was so long ago. I'm just like, I feel like I've always known that.
We're really making you feel old right now, aren't we?
No, that's all right. We, I mean, I'm happy I still have a bit of an accent. So I think this year's my 18th season here in the US. So, been here almost as long as I was in Australia. So, it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't mind the accent. Some people don't pick up on it, but I don't have a lot to say a lot of the time. So I like to listen to a lot, and then I like Americans tend to talk a lot.
That is true. I mean, we're on a talk show right now. So
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now we're all going to sit here quietly because we don't want to.
So I get to do a lot of listening, and but I've been here for a long time now. So.
Yeah, you mentioned how long you've been here. I think you're 5th place all time in GNCC wins with, if I'm not mistaken, 25. And this year, coming into 2024, you decided to go about it with your own program with some support from Sherco. What brought that decision on? That I feel like that has to be a tough decision, or like it's a tough process to have to do it all yourself.
Yeah, there's a long story, a long story behind it. and I mean, like I said, I'll be 36 this year and my 18th season racing professionally. So I know how the timeline works, and just with the program that I was on, it just kind of came to an end, you know. So it was I wasn't ready to be done racing, and it just didn't continue. So I was kind of looking around for something to do, and I really wanted to do, so like for people who haven't been to the GNCC, it's not an amateur motocross. It's like a big family. Like if you went 3 campers down and you needed eggs, let's say eggs, the people in that camper will be like, oh yeah, here's the eggs, we've got them, take them. So it's like a big family affair. And so being married now with 2 kids, when I first had our first kid, I was like, I don't want to take him to the GNCC. I've been doing it all my life. I want him to do something else. And so now he's almost 6, and he comes to all the races with us, and we go as a family. We take the camper, and I'm like, dude, I couldn't think of anything else I would rather my kids be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like such a good environment for them, and they're outside. And it's like, I wanted to do something that was a little less pressure, but I still had support and I could still pay my bills and that sort of stuff. And the Sherco deal kind of came about last minute. And, I mean, everything so far has exceeded my expectations. And I'm really happy. So, it's been I won't say it hasn't been a lot of work and been stressful, because it has, like just trying to figure out everything by myself, trying to get sponsors and that sort of stuff lined up, and then as well as trying to test the bike and then find a mechanic that I have to pay, and just there was a lot more things that I may have like kind of breezed over when I thought about, oh, let's go do this by myself, and still be competitive. So, but man, so far it's been fun. Lots of not super late nights, but long days, training, getting the bikes ready, getting like I got a few boxes of Sherco genuine parts here yesterday that we're trying to go through just to get organized. And it's like, it is a lot of work, but I think it's really rewarding seeing the everything come together.
I can imagine, and I have some more questions on those type of topics, but I want to go back to something you talked about a minute ago with the way the GNCC is this family type atmosphere, because we're all moto guys in the studio, but I have done 3 GNCCs now over the last 2 years, and that's what I say every time I come back from after the first one, which was Ironman 22. I was like, I can't believe. Like, it's just a huge family. Everybody's so nice, and you know, they're out there trying to help each other. And you can go to almost, like you said, any trailer, and the people are just like, hey, you know, come on over and hang out. And I fell in love with it. I'm starting to do more off-road stuff because I just became such a big fan of it. And I feel like you guys are so underappreciated compared to how many people show up for those things. It's just, it's unreal, the number of people that show up, and then it doesn't get the exposure it should.
Yeah. You're right. You're right, man. It definitely doesn't get the exposure that it should. But then, it also, like, if you wanted to compare it to Supercross or motocross, it just doesn't get the eye, like it doesn't get the TV eyes, and I think that's where everything sells. And
sure.
And I mean, that's where, being around it so long, I feel like I kind of understand how it goes. I'm like, sure, I'd love to make more money, but I kind of believe for what we can give back to a title sponsor, then everyone does pretty well, I think. But yeah, definitely more exposure. It'd be cool to see more industry people and more, maybe like some more of the riders come to the events, whether they're racing or just come to check them out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be cool. I mean, a lot of people go to the Florida round and a lot of people go to Ironman. But yeah, it'd be just cool to have some more crossover stuff. just to, because like people don't realize how different it is compared to, let's just say, motocross.
For sure. Just so you know, I don't ever want to go to the Florida round again. I went last year, and I honestly thought I might die in those woods. Don't
worry. I've it's crossed my mind when I've been racing. I was like, maybe I can just find a hole and curl up.
Yep. Go ahead, Scotty.
With well, first to clarify, will you be the first professional GNCC rider to compete on a shirt coat? Or like, okay, I'm just like, I don't know how much involvement that they've had in the sport. So,
yeah. So, 4 years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago, the Baylor brothers, Stu and Grant, they raced the Sherco. Grant did the whole season. I think Stu had an injury early in the season. So, and then I'm not exactly sure what happened. The Baylors went their own way, and Sherco didn't continue. So they've done the extreme enduro thing, and there's been riders that have had support that have done like the lower pro classes or the open A classes and that, but no one has really chased the XC1 class since 2020, I think it was. So,
right.
So I feel like I got in at a good time when I approached the guys at Sherco. They were open to the idea at first, and they were like, "We want to go GNCC racing. We just they weren't ready." And I was like, "Well, can I go?"
Yeah.
Will you support me? And so that's how that worked out. So I mean, it's hopefully, like I really think this program can be good, and then in 2 or 3 years when I'm ready to be done racing, I can help move it into a more of a team that's there as a solid base, like has factory support and has riders, and I can be there to help in some way, guide whoever's racing at the time to win on them,
So saying that, would you be up for a role of, say, like a team manager or team support once you decide to call it quits? And would that be something you'd be interested in, to stick around the sport and promote Sherco?
Yeah, that is what I feel like I could be fairly good at, especially being around for so long, and then being around for so long, you get to read a lot of people, a lot of riders. You see the people that put in the work. You see the people that are just talking shit, So I believe I could help the brand find its feet in this series, and that is somewhat my plan, is race 1 to 3 more years, and then try and move into a role, whether it be a management role or some type of personnel role where I can help the team grow.
Awesome, love that.
Well, you do have support of the team, because their official Sherco USA, I guess, YouTube page said that you're going to be the first one to get a win in GNCC on a Sherco.
Yeah, they're in the live chat right now, so they're watching. Oh,
nice.
You, so be careful what you say.
Yeah, they're listening.
That would be. I would love to do that. Be the first one to win on a brand on the Sherco. So I don't think it's impossible. I mean, I got to win the last round last year, and so far, I mean, it's always hard to tell where you stack up pre-season. I mean, it's the same as everything, whether it be Supercross or MotoGP or any of that stuff. Until you actually go race and compete, you can't. It's always hard to tell where you stack up and how you set the bike up. And so far, I feel really comfortable on this bike, and honestly, a little better than I have in the past couple of years. So,
that's good.
And it's just, like I said, you just can't. Everyone's going so fast now in that class. It's just, you can't go to the first round and you're like, oh, I'm gonna wax everyone.
Right.
Because if let's just say if you were the fastest, but something would happen, crash, lap runs into you, anything, then it just doesn't work like that. So I'll go in open-minded. I'm confident, and I feel like I've done the work. So I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and like you kind of touched on, like that XC1 class is, sorry, man, I interrupted you guys, but it's really stacked right now. I think the first 6 or 7 rounds last year had different winners, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was, the first 7, I think. So I was the 8th, it just took me 12 rounds to get to it. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's like since the Caleb era, there's just been a lot of different winners, and I think it opened up the class a lot where everyone now thinks they can win, whether it be a championship or just a race. Like everyone lines up each weekend thinking that they can win that race. So
that makes it good.
It definitely made it more exciting.
Yeah, you kind of answered this a little bit, but I was going to see how the transition from your former ride with Kawasaki to the Sherco was. You said that you feel better, but what were some of the things that you focused on bike setup wise that were different than things that you had to focus on in the past?
Well, obviously, coming off the Japanese bike with the aluminum frame, and then back to a European bike with a steel frame, there was a little bit of difference, and then like straight away I could feel that this bike did better. It turns really good, and then it handles like the roots and square edge really good. Just the steel frame's a little softer. But I mean, like I said at the start of the show, I've been impressed every step of the way with this motorcycle, and that's just, I'm not just trying to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm part owner in the old JGR track, so we have motocross track and a woods loop and all that sort of stuff. So the first 3 or 4 times I rode it on the motocross track. And the only way to compare was to do lap times, and straight away, I think I put a set of handlebars on it, and Jay at JDP did a suspension setting in the dark for me, just based off of what he thought would work.
Mm-hmm.
And the lap times were comparable straight away. And that was like the first, like I said, first 3 days of riding or whatever I just rode on the moto track, and typically this bike isn't known to be a motocross bike. So, I believe I have a good machine under me, and, I mean, for it to work on the moto track and then to be able to get it to work there and in the woods, I think we have a good package. And it's the biggest thing that I would notice that, like, let's say if a motocross guy got on this bike, the motor is, it's 450 power, but it's very mellow.
Yeah.
So it's it's really usable. So, I'm third gear. I don't think I'm in second gear at all, ever. Definitely not first. I could take first out if I knew how to do that. I would take first out.
Save some weight.
Yeah, and I could. I'd rarely get into second, so it's a third and fourth gear bike for me, and that's how I ride the 450. And like I said, it surprised me, and I'm still, every time I ride it, I'm like, well, let's see how it goes here today. And I'm like, damn, this thing is freaking good. And the good thing is I'm also riding with guys that I'll be racing with. So we all train together, a couple of XC1 guys, and I'm comparable. So, I mean, that's all I can go off right now,
Mm-hmm.
and how I feel and lap times and all that sort of stuff. And as of right now, I feel good. So we've got a couple of weeks till we go race, and I guess we'll see then.
Well, and besides the bike and being happy with the bike, you may not, I don't know if you want to respond to this too much, but I got the vibes at Ironman last year, which is the first time I really ever talked to you. You weren't completely happy with the team that you were on either. So in my mind, not knowing the situation, you're probably mentally in a better place also.
Yeah, it was, we won't open that can of worms. I was happy with the motorcycle. The personnel, on the other hand, completely different story.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
So, I mean, I remember the what you're talking about, and and that was the first thing he'd done for me in, I don't know, 6 or 8 months. I was like, come on, man. I was like, don't pretend like you helped me out.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, and like you said, I'm definitely, like, as far as getting the team ready and getting trying to figure stuff out. It's stressful, but I'm in a much better place. It's quite enjoyable. I'm good friends with one of the guys that's still on the team. He lived at my house. He's an Aussie, and he lived at my house, and I just roast him as much as I can. I'm like, dude, I'm having so much fun over here. I was like, how's your day?
Yeah, that's great though. I love it.
Yeah, no, it is, and I mean that's the whole racing. It's like if you feel good, you do good.
Yep.
And that I believe that was a big part of the problem I was having last year. It was like from the first round last year, I just had problems, and it took me until the summer break until I realized I didn't have a job to be like, all right, screw these guys. I need to worry about myself, not what they think or what they like. I'm doing all this for myself. And after the summer break, my results came around, and it just took me too long to figure that out. But anyway, like I said, I'm happy right now. It's everything's poking along.
It makes me happy, man. I'll actually be at the first round. I'm going to the Yamaha off-road intro at Rodney Smith's place.
Randy.
Yeah, Randy's place. So I'm going to come over and do the race also on Sunday. So I'm definitely going to come by and see you and check out the Sherco and all that. With your having your own team, you've kind of talked about the stresses and whatnot. How difficult has it been to get help from, I noticed you announced FXR's promoting or sponsoring you this year. How difficult has that been getting people to help you since it's your own team? Was it more difficult than you thought or about what you figured?
Yes. I just feel like I'm just at the wrong time right now. Economically, is that the word?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm chasing?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like I kind of fell on a year where all the teams were kind of tied up. So most of the contract or sponsorship money was probably tied up in other teams. So it was, some of the stuff was difficult to get. Some of it was, I was like shocked that there was companies trying to give me 50% off. I'm like, guys, I've ridden your product for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't understand some of it. And I like when someone would say that to me, I'm kind of insulted more than anything. It's like, I wasn't asking for any money. I was asking for literally product to go race. And I feel like I do a pretty good job at advertising the people that support me. And so there was some stuff that was a little bit tougher, and then some stuff that people have gone above and beyond. Like, the SKDA, I run their graphics. They're an Australian company.
Yep.
And dude, they've been really good to work with, and it's like they didn't have to help me. Like, I've never talked to anyone there in my life, and I just contacted them and said, hey, would you be interested in helping out? And they're like, and they jump straight on board and do like everything you want. So there's been companies like that. They're just one example. And I mean, Sherco as well. They didn't have to do anything for me. Like, I just called them out of the blue and said, hey, do you want to do this? And now all of a sudden I have basically full support, full manufacturer support. So it's like, there is companies that, like I said, went above and beyond in trying to help me out. And then there's some that I was like, I'd like tick them off on my list. I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are going to help me for sure. And then they try and charge me 50% off retail or something. I'm like, some of it didn't make sense. So it's,
I understand.
But no, it's been good. Everyone that's come on board I've got a couple of local sponsors that had no business help me out besides they just wanted to, So it's been fun, and I appreciate all the support that I've got. So we'll actually, speaking of you doing the Yamaha launch, maybe you should come up to the property and ride one of these Shercos I have.
I'm in.
Yeah.
He's already there. I saw the look on his face. He is all on board.
Yeah. Well, I'll get with you next week and we'll try to figure that out. I'll have to see when I get what days I have a free, because I'll be there I leave Tuesday, so I'll be there Wednesday through Monday. I think I fly back out Monday. So yeah, I'll holler at you. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, we'll try and get something together.
Okay.
Even if it didn't work this time, I mean, there's plenty of people. There's all the club guys. Surely you come out here once in a while.
Yeah. We'll figure it out for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm all about it. I'd love to ride one.
Hey, so I had a question, and kind of getting off the bikes a little bit with Jamie or Darkside here going to a lot of these races.
He definitely doesn't know me as Darkside.
He knows you as Jamie.
I don't think he does. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he.
No. Well, real quick, funny story. When you did the interview at Ironman,
yeah,
I was like, I think that's the Darkside dude, and I was like,
okay,
and I'm like, when I did the interview with Steve at Pulp there back in November or something.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and I always thought he didn't like you because every time I listened to his show, you'd call up, and he's like, what do you want? And I was like, I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
So
it's an act.
Yeah. When,
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
funny.
I thought that was funny. Yeah, when you were doing the interview, I was like, I think this is the guy that Mathis doesn't like.
I'm surprised. Yeah, that's funny. Go ahead, TJ.
Yeah. So this guy that Mathis doesn't like is going to a lot of these races, and we have been learning a lot about it, how big it is. You come over here from Australia to race the American Series. Obviously, how is the I guess you say like the cross country or that kind of racing over in Australia?
I mean, tiny.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I came here. I mean, you just look at it, I think 330 million Americans, and I think there's like 26 million Australians.
It seems like it'd be really big over there because it's just so much land, and the I guess from as an American watching videos from over there, it seems like people are so outdoorsy over there than they are here in the States. Yeah,
so it's big for how for the amount of population there is.
Gotcha.
Okay.
As far as being able to make there was a couple of years there, like back maybe 2010, there was a couple of off-road guys making pretty good money, like Toby Price. Before he went desert racing, he was making good money doing off-road. But it's just there was so I live northeast-ish of one of the states, and the closest race for me was like 4 hours. So if I ever wanted to do Australian championships, my dad and I were driving 10 to 15 hours every second weekend or something, and it just you just couldn't do it.
Gotcha.
And so there was a couple of Aussies racing in. Originally, I wanted to race MXGP. That's what I wanted to do growing up.
Yeah, because you do have a moto background.
Yeah, well, I mean, I try. So I grew up. I wanted to be like Jolsmet, Everett, and like the Kiwi Daryl and Shane King, Coppins. Followed Reedy there when he went to Europe as well, and so I wanted to go to Europe and race MXGP, and I never cut it really. And then I was like, well, maybe I can go to Europe and race Enduro GP, and the opportunity came up to come here. There was a couple of Aussies, Glenn Carney and Shane Watts. They were racing here in the US, and so Dad and I was working as a mechanic at the time, and Dad and I just wanted to come here and just see what it was like, try it out and see what it was like. And it was, so yeah, once you come over and you realize how big it is, it's like, well, you can make some money here, and I mean, I was lucky enough to get a small salary and a ride the first year I came over, and then I've been here since. So just the opportunity to make a living in the US is just far greater than in Australia for racing off road.
We see a lot of. Over the years, we've seen some of the top guys, the top 10 guys in the cross country world come over and ride some moto, do
like a Caleb.
Yeah, exactly. Do pretty good. And even some of the guys that ride mid-pack at the outdoor nationals. How often do y'all see some of the mid-pack outdoor riders or supercross riders come out and do races there at the cross country stuff because we don't hear about it if they
we
do.
saw Zacho attempt, right?
Yeah,
and
but-
like Starling did last year at Ironman. He went
Yeah.
out and raced it, but yeah,
But yeah. So how does that? I mean, do you see that often?
No, you don't. That's what I was like. I wish you could get it more often. It's just when someone like, let's say, I don't know who's middle of the pack.
An A-Ray back in the day,
Clayson,
or Cade
or,
Clayson, or someone like that.
Or let's say Dean Wilson or
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Stewart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's say one of those guys comes to a GNCC. It's like there's so much. They're not even the top of the top SX or motocross, but they're big enough where everyone at the GNCC knows them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So straight away they're expected to do good, and if they don't, then they don't get written off. They just like I know why they don't come because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
and I mean, I just wish it wasn't like that because I think most of those guys, besides hating the race, I think they would also enjoy it. But that's the problem. We're all competitive, so they're not going to want to go out and get 50th overall or something like that. So, I wish more of them would come. I just don't think their season is already too busy. They don't want to spend an off weekend coming beating themselves into the ground for 2 or 3 hours at a GNCC. So I wish, like I said, I wish more of them could come. If you just reverse the roles, there's 2 or 3 guys that might be able to qualify for a national.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like the same. Like we'd be in the same like ballpark as those guys if they were to come and do one of our series. So it's just hard. That I did those couple of nationals years and years ago now, and it was the same. During the week I could practice good, and you get to the race on the weekend, and it's just another level. Like
Yeah.
you can't explain it.
Well, the hard part, I think, for guys like y'all would be just the intensity as soon as practice starts to qualify. Like the qualifying seems like it'd be daunting. And where I guess you just sign up for y'all's classes, huh?
Yeah, you sign up. You can walk the track if you want, and then you just go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the nationals, obviously, everyone's doing all the jumps second lap.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And then what the qualifying starts 5 minutes into first practice or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that, like the ones I did red bud, so I wasn't jumping the lead, and it probably took me 3/4 of the first practice to do that other jump out of the bottom.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, and yeah, so it's, I mean, and I felt like I was a decent moto guy. So, yeah, it's definitely not easy. And then you get all these people thinking that the off-roaders would be good at a muddy supercross, and I'm like, we couldn't even make the night show, let alone the main.
Well, Chris Kiefer swore we were on the couch watching the San Francisco Supercross race. He's like, Cody Webb would win. No doubt Cody Webb would win.
Kiefer needs to come and do a lap at our woods track. And
well, he's out on the East Coast right now.
tell him to call me up. We're riding tomorrow.
I'm going to give you his number. I'm going to send you his number in a minute, and you just make him. What you need to do is call him out on social media.
Yeah.
But I'll send you his number, and you invite him up.
Yeah. And the thing is, Webb and I now are technically somewhat teammates.
Yeah.
And I've seen Webb ride a moto track, and I'm not being rude, but he wouldn't win a muddy supercross, Kiefer.
He and Cody agreed. Cody was on the show was that last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, and agreed.
Well,
yeah. I think no one would win a muddy supercross at that. but I think if anyone was to make a mud show, it'd be like a West Coast guy like Dante or I'm drawing a blank. The Honda SLR Honda guy.
Oh God.
One Loretta's.
Yeah. I'm blanking too.
Years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry if he's listening. I forget. Anyway, I'm old, remember?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
That's my excuse.
Like I think like a West Coast guy could do it. Probably qualify for a night show, maybe not a main.
Yeah.
Definitely not a main.
Well, I've noticed this the last 2 years. My son's turned pro racing Supercross. We spent his whole career going. I mean, you learn the tracks, you race as you go, and then when he turns pro, now he has to hit everything the second lap at wide open throttle. I mean, it's a technique that I think that you can't teach. You have to know that. You have to just be that type of rider.
Yeah, it's definitely a different breed.
It goes against, like, I was always told, ride smart, be comfortable before you do something, follow somebody, but that's not how it works.
No, you can't teach the young kids that if they have a chance of ever being pro. They have to be the kind of guys that are basically wide open throttle when the tires hit the dirt.
Josh.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about just kids going wide open throttle, and that's another thing. I don't know if we don't really need to get into it, but so the last, I guess I would say the last 10 years, all these riding areas that come up, and I feel like they just teach a lot of just hold the throttle wide open. There's no technique, and so I'm a jet fan, but I'm not a true jet fan. I'm a jet riding style fan.
Yeah.
And it's like if I look, because I was a Everts fan and a Joel Smets fan, and like full Euro motocross fan. And if you watch jet and then you go watch some old school Euro motocross, it's like that's him. Like that's Everts.
Yeah.
Like years ago. And it's like that shit's cool to watch. Like some of the stuff some of the stuff and the controversy he's been getting into, I'm like, dude, you're too young to be stirring shit up with the old fellas.
Well, but I think that's because he's so young. Like he just, you got to learn that maturity.
But when you watch him ride, it's like, dude, you do stuff that people haven't done for years because they forgot about it.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And that, I think, like, as far as off-road racing goes, that's the kind of style that I think you can do good at. Like, when Jet turns 30, he could probably go win it. He could probably go win a GNCC.
Oh, that makes sense. Actually, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Everts won a 6-day overall.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right, we know it's getting a little late there. I'm going to ask you 2 of our Vital MX forum member questions, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah.
All right, Dadbod86 wants to know what bike that you rode had the most potential that was never unlocked due to resources or just time constraints. Was there a bike that you knew could have been a lot better, just didn't get to get it there?
I don't know if it could have been better, but the Husky, I think, the KTM group is they have rules, I think, that everyone has to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never able, when I was racing the Husky, I was racing against Caleb, and I think the suspension components had to be very similar to one person or the other.
Yeah.
From what I understand. This is from what I understand, so it may not be true. So I was never given a stock bike to ride. So the Sherco, I asked for a stock bike. That way I could ride it. I'm like, all right, it does this, I want to change this. And I believe I've got the best out of this bike. Where when I was at Husky, they give you a bike. They're like, here is this bike. This is what you race.
Yeah, make it work.
And I just believe that it could have worked a little better for me because I'm 6'1", 200 pounds. So I believe it could have worked a little better for me if we were allowed to, or we were able to change a little more, change the setup a little more. So that is the answer to my that question. Every other bike, I believe, we run our bike so close to stock anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That I think every other brand we did pretty much what we needed to. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, last one. A Metz says it'd be cool to hear from someone like Strang about how the level and speed of the GNCC has changed over the years since he has been in it so long. He's basically calling you old.
Yeah.
But the bikes are so fast and reliable now. These guys have to have insane sprint speed at all times during a 3-hour race.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how's it changed? Since you came into it, it's so long ago.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
No, so when I came, the first year I was here, we were still all on two-strokes, so 2007. And from what I can remember, it was more. So Juha, he was a Finnish guy. He came in 05, 06, and he changed the series before I got here to more of a sprint for the entire race type deal. And I think once he left, I think it kind of went back a little bit to where the first hour to an hour and a half, you might have been at 75 to 80%, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last half, it was more of a sprint kind of race to the finish. And since then, it had progressed, and I feel like, I mean, I hate to toot my own horn, but I feel like when I got on the 450 at Suzuki, I was able to ride at a faster speed for the whole race. But I think my overall speed was probably at, let's say, 85% for the whole race instead of 75, 80, then 80 to 95 or whatever. And then once Caleb came along, he kind of just blew everything. He kind of combined all of that, I think, together, and it was like he could do a little bit of everything. You know, he could do it where he would do, let's say, 85% for the whole race, and you could battle him all day, but he would still come out on top. Or he was really good at sprinting early and getting a gap, and then just maintaining that gap. So if it was, I mean, you only got to be 15 to 20 seconds out from the guy in front because you can't see him. So if let's say he was 20 seconds up and in 2 miles I'd caught 5 seconds, or he'd get a pit board saying you lost 5 seconds, so he'd put on a sprint. Get the 5 seconds back out. So he kind of like he's really changed it to where it is now, I believe, where he was able to manage the race just by his early race pace, and now, like we said earlier, it's pretty much a free for all. So you just pretty much going as hard as you can
the whole time.
Finish. Yeah. So obviously the conditions of the track will limit you to how hard you can actually go, but for the most part, if the track's muddy, you're riding it as hard as you can in the mud. If it's dry and dusty, then you're riding it as hard as you can, riding to the conditions at 90% the entire race. So I think my heart rate, I guess, is average for a GNCC is somewhere in between 165 and 175.
Jeez.
And I'm 35, so that's, I think it's like 88% of my max heart rate or something like that.
Yeah, it's intense.
Which is pretty high, and getting along, like after doing it so many years, the one thing I have noticed is my recovery. So back in the early 8, 9, 10, I could go and moto on a Tuesday after a race. Now if I ride Wednesday, just like kind of lightly, I'm lucky. So normally now it's like by Thursday I can go out and pretty much do what I have to do to maintain.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's a great answer. And Brian from Sherco has reached out to me, so we're going to try to get together while I'm out there. And either way, I'll see you at the GNCC. But really, man, appreciate you coming on. Josh Strang tonight, brought to you by FXR. It's been really fun talking to you, man. I'm really glad we got you on here. This was a really entertaining and informative interview with you.
Yeah, no worries. It's I love doing this stuff, and I mean, it's I just like to cross. Like I said, I like to cross over, and it's cool to have you guys, even Steve, and all that. Like, want to talk about GNCC, not necessarily me, but have all the guys on, and it's I mean, it means. It's good. It's good for us, good for our sport. So it's sweet.
Well, thanks for doing it. Thanks for Brian for reaching out. We'll figure this out. I would love to ride one. And again, the GNCC races are amazing. If you're anywhere in the area, check out the schedule. If you can get to one and you've never been, you got to go check it out. All these riders are so approachable, and it's a good family time, man. You're going to love it. So Josh, thanks for your time tonight.
Yep. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Josh Strang, brought to you by FXR.
I gotta say
that was. I still had so many more questions to get to, but it's so late.
And I gotta say that the more riders, the top riders that we have on, the more I'm interested in this, and I haven't even seen or been to one.
Yeah, I got to get you guys to one somehow because it's so cool, man.
I want to take Doc to one and see how he can do racing one.
And I mean, the guys are just awesome. Like everyone we talk to, whether it be Stu or him or Ricky, Russell, all those guys are just down to earth, and it's just a different vibe. Not that our guys are not down to earth once you get to know them, but it's definitely a different vibe.
Yeah, and I think it's like he said, it's good for us to get them on because for a long time, most of our listeners are moto guys. Yeah. And I'm excited about this.
Scotty, you texted me during that. I screwed that up. The Evans Coolant emails was supposed to be before Josh, but I wrote it again.
Don't even bring it up. Just move it on.
No, I appreciate it. It's the first time we've done this new schedule, so I don't mind letting people know.
You're keeping them on. You're keeping them on.
I don't mind letting people know I screwed up. It's all good, man. So we're going to get to the Evans Coolant emails. Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, and Pro Factory Yamaha, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. All right, Evans Coolant emails. Let's start with...
We do have.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have something we need to address.
I missed one of the questions for Strang. Sorry.
One of the topics of the chat this evening has been on the fact that you owe Table Jam some socks from like 2 years ago. I don't know why got brought up tonight, but it's been a topic of discussion.
It's SOX. So I don't know if that's shock socks that he's talking about or
I don't know.
Actual socks.
Table Jam?
Yeah. He said it's been 2 years. You should upgrade him to a free motorcycle. So
that's a big upgrade.
That's what I said.
Table Jam. Email me, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. I don't remember.
Maybe give him
this.
a dark.
I certainly don't
shirt.
remember why this is, but I'm sure there's socks around here somewhere. I mean, I've got some on my feet if I have to. No, send me an email, man. I apologize. I'm sure I missed that somewhere.
Give him a dark shirt.
Those cost money, man. No, we'll
what a dick.
send me an email, man. I'll take care of it. All right.
Yeah, Table. Send him $20 and he'll send you a dark shirt.
20.
Wow, how much are they?
They're 40. Well, they're with shipping.
Miss
Dude,
me with that.
I've sold a lot of them, and Kiefer's are like 45 plus shipping.
So, are you telling me that you've sold a lot of them and then they're sitting over there and not being shipped?
There's no. I shipped most of them out, but I still have more to ship. There's still some there, but I've shipped a lot.
It's a lot of ship.
Yeah, I think I shipped out like 35 shirts the other day. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Your first email.
First email from
Apologies.
Cart6T3. First off, I want to say great interview last week with Eli. As an Eli fan, Detroit was hard to watch, but I've seen it before. I was hoping for a title run, but may have to just enjoy the season. Appreciate that he's still racing. I still have hope, but it's starting to get weak. Come on, Car63. He's still in it. We've talked about it tonight. Just chill down, man. He's good. He'll be fine. Even though these other guys don't. This one's for TJ. This came in a couple weeks ago, and I never got to it. Zaphod Beeblebrox. So a few weeks back, I sent you an email asking TJ what he thinks about the Ducati Desmodromic valve train on the motocross bike. And then I wrote notes somewhere.
A Desmo what? A Huda?
Yeah, exactly. He just kind of wants to know what you think about it. I would think it would have an annoying maintenance requirement. How the hell would you even set those valves?
So it wouldn't be any more maintenance requirement than what their street bike is, but it's going to allow that motor to rev unbelievably free and really, really, really high. You almost cannot float the valves on that system. For the people who don't know, and you see,
I bet Scotty doesn't know. So explain it.
Oh,
they make a song because I don't know.
So have you seen inside of a head where it has a rocker on the cam that pushes the valves down? Right. Imagine one of those underneath that also lifts it.
Oh, wow.
So there's no spring.
Oh, okay.
So the cam, when the cam lobe comes down, it's lifting the valve or closing the valve. And then as it comes up, it rocks it and pushes it down.
So is that better? Because like a spring would probably be more easily wear out and break?
The spring causes resistance. For when the valves have to open, the cams have to push down on the spring. So that causes rotation resistance.
Yep.
And the idea behind this is it's very free moving, and if you rev a motor too high, the spring can't come back fast enough and shut the valve in time. So you do what's called floating valves.
Yep.
Well, you cannot float the valves on this system.
Okay.
And so your limiting factor is no longer valve springs, because the higher valve spring pressure.
I hate that TJ is so smart with this stuff.
The higher valve spring pressure you need.
He lost me at.
I understand, but I don't. What I don't understand is how he can explain this, but he can't spell there.
I can spell there.
Not the proper. You can't use the proper one.
There.
So now your limiting factor is no longer valve float. Your limiting factor is the amount of, I guess you'd call it like inertia that the piston sees, because the piston has to go up and stop and come back down, and that creates a lot of force on the connecting rod. So that's where your limiting factor comes in now.
Okay.
So you should see this bike should rev unbelievably fast, like real, like build RPM real fast and be real free revving. And yeah, so.
Interesting. Okay. One more email from Jason Henninger. General discussion topic. I know that ML got an interview with Hunter after the race at A2, but for the most part, it seems that the Lawrence still have somewhat of a media ban. When do we see that go away, since they're not dominating 250 class and they're more like the rest of the boys now? Not hating on them, just curious when we see them open up a bit and not be so closed off.
They do open up a bit if you buy the VIP pass.
Yeah, well, I don't think it is going to change a lot for the media. Their team, their personnel team, like Lucas Myrtle, their agent, feels like they'll do interviews if it's something unique or interesting, but the general podcast type things we do every week where we just talk about your races, they feel like they've done enough of that. They're spread pretty thin between all the obligations they have, and yeah, if it's not going to be something unique, they don't feel they need to do it. So
because we've seen so little of them in like interviews and whatnot, what are they spread thin for?
Because they do a lot of other things throughout the week with their sponsors and training.
What do we? I don't see. I guess I'm not on their social media or something. But
well, I mean, during the week they're riding and training, and they, whether it be Alpine Stars or one of those, they do things for those guys, and they don't want to have them obligated to do media stuff and sponsor obligations every single day all the time. Like what are they doing more than what Tomac or they
RC
may not? They're not doing more, but their team, their agent and the team have decided, like, well, we're not going to do all those things because we don't need to. We're going to let them have some free time and not have to do stuff every time somebody asks when it's the same thing over and over and over.
Okay.
Like Lucas has said, hey, if you come to me with a unique interview, like a topic, let's talk about this or whatever, and we think then we'll do it. It's not there's not a complete media ban. They just don't want to do the weekly podcast. They're not going to do Pulp one night, and next week we're going to do our show, and Swap Mo the next week, and it's the same stuff every week.
Okay, but
it's the same stuff we ask them on press day, and it's the same stuff we ask them in the press conference. And it's like, okay, we're going to limit that.
How often is Tomac or any of the top guys like Kenny, how often are they doing podcasts?
Not very often either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, why aren't they doing any of them?
That's just the decision they've made.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to you, but it does to them.
I think it would put a bad.
Does Mertz have that? Because he has he's an agent for a lot of riders. Is he doing? Has he said that for any other riders?
We can get Joe Shimoda and we get Max, and those guys. It's the Lawrences but they're just at a different level, and they are spread thinner. The things that their sponsors want.
Hasn't stopped Feld.
Well, they don't do that as much with Feld either. Like, I mean, they'll do some stuff, but then, I mean, they do stuff they have to do. But
I guess what I'm getting at is, like, in a way, when you become a star athlete and you get all the benefits of being a star athlete, there are a few things that you have to do that suck. And all of our star athletes do the podcast probably what you'd say 3 to 4 times a year. You would hear them on a podcast, whether it be, Pulp, which is obviously the biggest. They should be able to get those guys, or any of the other ones that do the podcast or interviews. You have to do that. I'm sorry.
But they don't have to.
No, but I'm getting
There's no obligation within their contract that says you have to do this, so they don't.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm perturbed because it's like we're too special for that.
Yes, I don't know. I don't see it that way. I see it like if I was in their position and every single day somebody wanted me to go talk about something every single day, Like I have a real life too.
But is it okay?
Like,
Well, I don't know,
think I
TJ.
see.
I don't live with them. But if you were at their fucking level, like I'm getting mad at you right now. I don't know why. But,
don't know
like,
why.
like because you're being like kind of an asshole to their personal lives. Yes, they are professional athletes, but they don't owe us anything.
Well, what I'm saying is, do you think that Kenny Roczen his personal life is suffering because of how much media he does?
No, because he chooses not to do some things, just like they chose not to.
But they chose not to do anything.
That's not true. If they'll do it if it's something interesting.
Okay, they chose not to do anything normal.
Okay. But they have that right.
They have that right, but it's
I
have a
think-
right to be like saying you're being
Well, I'm mad at you for that.
shitty to the.
I don't know why. Why am I mad at him?
I don't know. Well, what I think is like, okay.
I think because I'm hungry.
So,
you know what time it is? It's,
so say like
almost 3 hours and we still have stuff to do.
like they, you know,
This is not the Pulp Mech show.
Scotty
Roczen wins a race, or you know,
Turn his mic off.
Hunter didn't. This is the first time I've talked in like 5 minutes.
I wasn't as annoyed until you started talking.
Yeah, let's say like, you know, the first round. Okay, never mind. Continue. Go to the next one.
please go.
Please finish.
The first round, like Hunter didn't
Jesus,
make
hurry up.
the main, and then you know, like say Roczen wins a race, his first race of the season, or you know something crazy happens, like the Anderson and Jet thing. They had, you know, like don't be surprised when something crazy like out of the expected happens, and then you get a call from somebody wanting to talk about it. Like I don't think it's fair. I think it is fair for them to be able to say, hey, I'm not going to do this one tonight. I'm not going to do that one tonight. Okay, I'll talk on this one tonight. But to say, hey, point blank, don't even ask us. I'm not doing anything.
We're so special.
Yeah, I don't like that, the way they've approached it.
They didn't
Now,
say
I think,
don't ask. Well, I mean,
I mean, that's kind of, isn't that kind of what?
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
He's wrong.
Okay.
Okay. All right, moving on.
I think you're both idiots. ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro, Yamaha, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years. From complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets, ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. So find ProX at your local dealer or visit prox-usa.com and search for parts for your bikes. ProX highs and lows. Anybody got some ready to go? Or do you want me to go?
I can go.
Let's go, TJ. What are your highs? What are your lows?
Go with your highs and lows.
My high is no, seriously. My high is Triumph this weekend. I think they did good. I was really excited for that, and I look forward to that bike and some, you know, more about it. I guess out of this stuff. And then my low just happened because now I'm pissed at the Lawrences for being such better than everybody.
So funny. I just wrote them down as my high. For standing by their beliefs. Stand strong, Lawrence brothers.
Like I didn't even care until now. Now I'm mad.
I like how like in this show, Darkside was like, I don't really like drama, and then here, like now
it's not drama to me that they don't want to do podcasts.
Y'all between y'all two.
There's such a bunch of like self-important asses.
Shut
now.
up, TJ.
Okay.
So that's my low.
Well, it's my high that they stand strong. Also, my high is Austin Faulkner getting a win.
Oh, man.
Ah, it's awesome.
The 49ers being in the Super Bowl next weekend. So you got maybe a couple more weeks of this. It might be my low next week. We'll see.
I hope so.
You're about to get fired. And then I took my dad out on the Yamaha e-bike. It's the YDX Moro, M-O-R-O 07. And he really loved it. He wants to actually start
that's
riding.
Your low? He took it from
It's
you?
my high. No, it's my high that he wants to ride. He's going to start hopefully getting in shape. I had to go take it to his house and just leave it because I'm going to be gone for a week. And he's like, I want to ride every day. So I just had to leave it with him. And then my low is that I didn't get to ride as much this week as I wanted to. And we didn't even get to this, but Club MX with Jeremy Martin getting hurt.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, and
is he done?
No,
I think he's
fine.
He's going to be back in Arlington, isn't he? Like it was just a concussion, right?
Yeah, concussion. He's good.
He just knocked him. It looked a lot worse.
Yeah, but their other guy, Jet Reynolds, second Supercross, first one he breaks.
Like I hate to sound harsh, but does he come back again after this? Because like wasn't this like his?
I don't know. Collarbone though. I mean, hopefully he'll be back.
Like the most winningest amateur
mini
bike rider.
Not gone well.
Those are my ProX highs and lows. Scotty, what you got?
My highs was also Faulkner.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back on track with a win and all that, and low was I guess is kind of the opposite of that. The fact that we didn't get a real true test of everything because of the first turn pileup. So that was one of my lows. And also, like, the day race thing kind of threw off my normal routine.
Sure.
Like, because like I didn't get to. I was doing stuff, and I was at a nephew's birthday party during the race. And then I was doing stuff that evening, so I had to like not get on Instagram because I knew it was going to ruin it. So that was my low.
Okay. Shane Bagley sent in his highs and lows real quick. Hi, attending Supercross Live. The races are so much better with the crowd, sounds, and smells. Low, Eli with the bike issues. Oh, I thought you were Star Bike squeak, something terrible going through rhythm lanes on the landing. I could hear the 2, 3, and time the 2 and 3. Oh yeah, okay. So Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, and sometimes the 32 being Justin Cooper making loud squeaks from the shock. Okay, so those were Shane's lows and highs. ProX highs and lows. We're gonna close this thing out. I feel like there was one more thing I was gonna touch. Oh yeah, Blue Crew 84 sent in his top 5 movies, action movies from last week.
Yeah,
they came in a little late, but Raiders of the Lost Ark, just a classic Indiana Jones and Harrison at his best. Adventure, suspense, comedy, horror, romance. Are you not entertained?
That's an adventure movie.
That's
a good
I think I said, was Raiders the one I picked? I think it was.
I don't know. Nobody cares. Move on.
Okay, all right, cool. The Dark Knight, Batman being one of the best superheroes, and Heath Ledger.
The Dark Knight was on like 4 of our lists.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, the greatest dino movie there ever was. Godzilla, F you, dude.
Godzilla's not a dinosaur.
The fuck is it?
I mean,
it's not a dinosaur.
Kind of. I guess it. I never
it's
thought
like a giant reptile. I always thought of it as a dinosaur.
It was like a lab experiment, like that. Like, well,
whatever, man.
I guess
the animatronics still hold up. Great action. What just happened here? For
TJ made
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Incorrect statement.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. As a Star Wars fanatic, this is my personal favorite. Empire Strikes Back is probably a better overall film, but you can't deny the epicness of Obi-Wan versus Anakin. And the fifth is Bourne Identity.
Okay. Oh yeah,
the Bourne series.
The Bourne
really
series are good.
Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Okay, let's get into the EVS picks for Glendale. Where is EVS? Here we go. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established themselves as the leaders in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norton, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. Check out evs-sports.com and use the code VITALMX30, all caps, to save and gear up like the pros. Go give you some of those Slaco 96 knee guards.
I'd like to try some of those.
Yeah, I don't have any. I have the TP 199 ones.
Same things, aren't they?
I think they're a little bit different. They've redesigned them a little. I don't know how much.
Yeah,
but
I need some.
And I definitely say if you like padded shorts or just like tight shirts when you're working out, almost like the Under Armour shirts. Mm-hmm. Their technical undergear is second to none. I love that stuff. So check them out. Use that promo code EVS Picks for Glendale. Who wants to go first? Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
Eli winning. Jet second. Cooper Webb third. TJ?
Jet wins.
Okay. And he won't talk to you afterwards because
fair enough. Jet wins, and then probably going to wind up being Sexton and Webb. But I don't know which one's going to get second. I'm kind of lost between those two. I mean, they're. I don't have anything. I'm not saying negative about it.
Yeah,
they're just so close.
Okay, Scotty.
So are we? How certain are we that like it's going to be it's not going to be like a real rutted, crazy track? It's going to be more fast.
More than normally it is.
Yeah, because
it's fair enough. I mean, but like
it's rained there, but I think all the dirt was already inside before it rained on it.
I'm gonna go Chase, Jet, Roxon.
I like your 94 pick. Okay. Anything else before we wrap this thing up? Anybody?
You're
going once? Going twice?
You see, but
what?
Nothing.
Moving on.
Okay. I'm gonna send. I'll send you Lucas Myrtle's number, and you can discuss.
I would talk to him.
Probably
don't send him that number.
No.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, that'd be a
bad idea.
You know, that sucks. Actually, I texted Mertz earlier to ask if he was going to see Tool, and he never answered me back. I just realized that. Damn it, Mertz, screw you.
You don't. You're not supposed to bother him.
No, I'm just not smart. We just whatever. All right,
not learn
that's
anything?
episode 301. I want to thank our presenting sponsors, Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA, as well as our other sponsors, Guts Racing, FXR, X-Brand, ProX, EVS Protection, Troll Training, Evans Coolant, Blood Lubricants, Barnett Clutches. Use us promo codes. We'll be back next week. Thanks to all the guests. We're out.